This magician is simply not scientific. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 1: Robust Development System. He once again fixed his eyes on the window glass of the Crypt Tavern half buried underground. Tucker hoped to see the person he was waiting for today. That guy was already an hour late. However, Tucker searched the entire dim street and did not see the person he was waiting for. There was not even a ghost on the street outside. Could it be that the guy ran away with the money? Tucker rubbed his eyebrows. After all, that guy is an assassin. When he was in danger last time, he ran away very fast. But after thinking about it carefully, Tucker rejected this possibility. This is the land of ashes, and now is the gray night. Lamore Tower City State is the safest and most sheltered tower territory within a radius of hundreds of miles. Unless the assassin is willing to get into the crypt and huddle together with a dog-headed man for warmth. Otherwise, it is impossible for that guy to run away successfully before the next gray day arrives. Maybe something delayed him. Although the things that the assassin brought were extremely important to Tucker. They were the key to Tucker's making the system play a huge role next. But reason still made Tucker's half-hanging heart gradually let go. He swept his eyes around the Crypt Tavern. In addition to a few adventurers who missed the grade 8 window and were trapped here and were drinking to drown their sorrows, there were also a few local drunkards who were already drunk. No one disturbed him. Tucker changed his sitting position, and then continued to wait. About 3 months ago, Lee Ta got drunk at a team building in the company. When he woke up, Lee Ta traveled to this bizarre and extraordinary world with a strange living environment, roaring steam, numerous extraordinary sequences, and death and evil gods lurking in the dark. It is understandable that others got drunk at team building and woke up with a sore butt. But I got drunk and woke up and traveled directly. What the hell is this? As the memory gradually digested, Lee Ta gradually accepted the fact that he had traveled to the dangerous supernatural world and became the apprentice wizard Tucker. Back to the age of 16. Have a brand new life? There's even hope to appreciate the sleeping posture of the young senior sister at 4 o'clock in the morning in the future. Everything is going in a good direction. Tucker is full of confidence and is ready to show his skills to welcome his new life. But after 3 days of hunger for 9 meals, Tucker recognized the reality. In this world, he is just an orphan whose parents died in the ashes. There is only a crypt hut left by his parents. Although he is a level 5 apprentice wizard. But this level of apprentice supernatural people are caught in a lot in the Lamore Tower City State. Fortunately, the benefits of the Traverser arrived before Tucker starved to death. Steady development system. This is Tucker's golden finger. You can anchor an area, gain experience, specialty resources, etc., and carry out long-term steady development. With a system to settle down, Tucker was no longer panicked. In the following time, Tucker borrowed a system and began his own steady development journey. In just 3 months, Tucker raised his level from the original level 5 to the current level 9. At the same time, Tucker's several extraordinary skills have also been fully improved. Although Tucker is now a little powerful, Tucker knows that the areas he anchored before were all ordinary areas that normal people can access. He only got ordinary resources. Tucker urgently needs to anchor a rare area with abundant energy and danger. Get the rare resources that can really make him change qualitatively. And today in this underground tavern, Tucker is waiting for such an opportunity. Bang! The door of the underground tavern was pushed open. With a chill that penetrated into the bone marrow, a group of figures quickly drilled in, and then closed the door of the tavern at the same speed. The man was 17 or 18 years old, with short blue hair, wearing silver white leather armor, and a linen robe on the outside. The dagger under the robe could be vaguely seen. The originally handsome face was slightly distorted and pale because of the cold. This damn weather is too cold. The young assassin shrank his neck, his teeth were chattering, and then he said to the bartender, "Give me a glass of Varaji Saju." Varaji Saju is the favorite Saju of adventurers in the Ashland. It is cheap, large in quantity, and can drive away the cold. Soon, a glass of warm Varaji Saju is pushed in front of the young assassin. After drinking half a glass in one breath, a little rosy luster appeared on the face of the young assassin. "If you don't come again, I will think you are going to run away with the money. Besides, you are already an hour and a half late, Carlos." Tucker's face was calm as usual, and his voice was soothing and steady. Carlos, whose extraordinary sequences, assassin, turned around and looked at Tucker. He did not despise the other party because he was younger than him and his sequence restrained him. In the last adventure, Tucker's performance in the team was completely at the top level. His methods were fast, accurate, steady and ruthless. If it weren't for Tucker's several shots at critical moments, the team would definitely lose people on the way back. More importantly, when they encountered danger last time, this guy ran away at the same speed as him. Damn, he's a wizard who is not good at speed. Carlos also heard that. In the gray days, Tucker participated in several adventures and reaped rich rewards. Several street gang members targeted Tucker. But the result was that when the bodies of those guys were found by the undead wizard deep in the crypt, they had been eaten by rats. Tucker, however, was safe and sound. What a joke, how could I run away with the money? If I dare to take your money, you will want my life? Carlos smiled awkwardly, and he naturally didn't dare to say the latter sentence. When I was about to come over, my sister stopped me. Carlos spread his hands. You know, the place we went to last time was very dangerous. And my sister's temper. Carlos said intermittently. This made Tucker begin to envy Carlos for having such a good sister. Carlos' sister, a combination of talent and beauty, is highly regarded by the Count of Lamor Wizard. Moreover, she is also a brother-supporting demon. Soon, the Valaji liquor was finished. Are you ready? Tucker lowered his voice. Yes. Carlos nodded carefully. Are you sure you really want to go there? That is one of the forbidden areas of the Lamor Tower city-state. Once something goes wrong, being expelled is a small matter. I'm afraid you will lose your life there. You can choose not to go. Tucker responded lightly. You promised me at the beginning that if you find out. When he said this, Carlos looked around vigilantly. Although the guests in the tavern did not care about the conversation between the two, Carlos was still very smart and did not say much. Let's go. Tucker stood up, glanced at an empty corner of the crypt tavern, and then walked out. Carlos followed closely behind. Chapter 2: The Demon King's Sealed Door. The Land of Ashes. It is a half-paradise for the dungeon demons and crypt creatures. Therefore, the underground of the Lamor Tower city-state has extremely complex crypt passages. Deep in a cold, silent, dark crypt passage, Tucker carried a lantern emitting orange light, dispelling the darkness and moving forward cautiously. If it was the gray day, there might be some dark creatures such as kobolds, goblins, and goblins foraging for rats here. But now is the gray night period, and the cold fills the entire world, including the crypt passages close to the surface. Those crypt creatures can only run deeper underground to avoid the severe cold. This also saved Tucker from some unnecessary battles. Those kobolds and goblins usually measure the strength of both sides by number. Tucker, who was alone, was obviously on the weak side. Soon, at the end of the crypt passage, a jumping and burning bonfire came into Tucker's eyes. Carlos was already waiting there. Carlos, who has the ability to climb, did not take the long way like Tucker. If you hadn't come, I would have thought you were caught by those dog-headed men. Seeing Tucker arriving, Carlos, who was roasting by the fire, rarely teased. Tucker ignored Carlos and squeezed closer to the campfire, using the flames to dispel the cold. Although Tucker has a first-level, red flame bracelet, which makes Tucker more resistant to cold than ordinary transcendence, he cannot ignore the cold for a long time. The firelight shone on Tucker's face, and the red flame bracelet quickly absorbed heat energy, and the cold began to be dispelled. Tucker raised his head. His eyes passed over the campfire and Carlos. The arched magic sealed door behind Carlos was about 5 meters high and 3 meters wide, and was made of magic obsidian. It was densely covered with powerful magic rune marks of the seal system. And this powerful Demon King seal door is the purpose of Tucker's trip. Previously, Tucker used the steady development system to anchor the following areas: abandoned mines, the cleared kobold tribe deep in the underground passage, some strange ancient ruins deep in the wilderness, and the warm underground passage near the Lamor steam tower with abundant source energy. But the only resource produced in these ordinary areas is source energy experience. And the area behind this dangerous and extremely abundant magic seal door in front of him is the real treasure. A treasure that is enough to transform himself. Tucker, this magic seal door is the portal where powerful wizards work together to seal the Dungeon Demon King. It is said that the slain Dungeon Demon King is sealed in it. Every year, many adventurers come here to try but they all return in vain. With our level and strength, can it be opened with a spirit bridge runestone? Carlos twisted his neck to examine the ancient sealed door. There was no hope that Tucker could open the ancient magic sealed door. Feeling that the coldness had almost dissipated and that the body would not be affected by the coldness in the next battle, "Give me the things." Tucker stood up and said. At this time, Carlos also showed a serious look. He was not worried that Tucker could open the sealed door. He was afraid that something unexpected would happen. After all, it was the sealed door of the Demon King. Even if the Demon King had fallen, the crypt where he fell was still extremely dangerous. As Carlos took out the Spirit Bridge runestone from the extraordinary storage bracelet, buzz! A strong power of runes and sequences enveloped the two people and the surrounding world. The cold was instantly expelled. The blazing bonfire was suppressed and almost extinguished. Darkness squeezed in from all directions. As the power of runes descended, Tucker only felt as if he was carrying a tank on his shoulders, and his legs couldn't help trembling. Runestone. It is the crystallization of the natural extraordinary power of the extraordinary world. It is expensive, but the function is powerful enough. Spirit Bridge runestone can build a channel across barriers, sills, and different layers. Carlos has a supernatural storage bracelet that can gather the power of Spirit Bridge runestone, but Tucker does not. This is why Tucker found Carlos to cooperate. Under pressure, Tucker took the Spirit Bridge runestone and then put it on the Demon King's sealed door with force. The moment the two came into contact, buzz! Buzz! On the obsidian magic sealed door, a large area of rune marks lit up. After all, the Demon King's sealed door was a product of more than 300 years ago, and no one has been guarding and maintaining it for a long time. Even if the rune marks are lit, less than 1/3 are lit. Moreover, most of the rune marks are dim, and many of them have a tendency to break. But even so, Tucker knew that it was a fantasy for him to use the Spirit Bridge runestone to open this powerful sealed door. In fact, the purpose of Tucker's trip was not to open the Demon King's sealed door at all. Instead, he used the Spirit Bridge runestone to make a very brief contact with the area behind the Demon King's sealed door. Even if it was just a moment of contact, it was enough for the system to work. Tucker had come here many times before to conduct investigations and collect a lot of information about other adventurers' explorations here. He knew that there were cracks in some areas of the Demon King's sealed door. It was naturally not hopeful to open the seal by using a rune stone like the Spirit Bridge runestone. However, there was a certain hope to use the power of the Spirit Bridge runestone to contact the area behind the sealed door. Once the world behind the Demon King's sealed door was contacted, the system could work. Manipulating the Spirit Bridge runestone, Tucker quickly screened the cracks one by one. Soon, Tucker locked onto a highly broken seal crack. Go! Tucker gathered the power of the Spirit Bridge runestone and tried to squeeze through the gap. I don't know if this seal is too old and has become a candle in the wind. Or is it that Tucker chose a more vicious and tricky location? Or is it that the effect of this Spirit Bridge runestone is too outstanding? When Tucker built a Spirit Bridge in the crack, the Demon King's seal gate made a cracking sound. The entire Demon King's seal gate was shaking slightly. By the way, the entire underground passage was shaking slightly, and a lot of gravel and ash fell down. No way. Carlos on the side suddenly widened his eyes, his face full of disbelief. At the same time, he was ready to run away as soon as the underground cave collapsed. Tucker was also shocked, and his eyes twitched slightly. I just wanted to contact the other side, but I didn't think of destroying the seal gate. When the Spirit Bridge runestone constructed a small rainbow Spirit Bridge, crashed. Large pieces of gravel fell off. Then, a fist-sized hole appeared in front of the two people in the dark Demon King sealed door. Fuck. Fuck. Looking at the hole in the Demon King sealed door, the two stared at each other at the same time. The Demon King sealed door that many people were helpless to do was just like that, with a big hole chiseled out by Tucker. Chapter 3 System, ADME. The turbulent underground passage returned to its previous calm. Fortunately, it was the gray night period and there were no adventurers nearby. Otherwise, the two would have been caught red-handed based on the noise just now. Carlos bent over and looked into the depths of the Demon King's sealed door along the fist-sized hole. He was amazed. Tisk tisk. Tucker, I didn't know you were so powerful. You opened the Demon King's sealed door that so many people couldn't do anything about. If this gets out, You'll be called the Demon King's gravedigger. Tucker's eyes twitched, and he didn't pay much attention to Carlos's ridicule. After examining the hole for a moment, he said seriously, "It's opened, but not completely. The power of the seal is still in the hole. To be more precise, it's just equivalent to the previous crack becoming a little bigger." Tucker was indeed right. Although there was a hole, the overall power of the seal door still existed. Although he said so, Tucker also knew it. When others discover that the Demon King's sealed door has been opened with a big hole, I'm afraid that foreign adventurers and local extraordinary people will flock to it. The place where the fallen Demon King was sealed. Is there a better place for treasure than this? By then, I'm afraid that this sealed door will soon be drilled through by those powerful wizards along the hole. But anyway, the process was a bit unexpected, but the purpose of this trip has been achieved. Before, only a slight touch was needed to unfold the system function. But now, the hole is so big that the spirit bridge has been built across, and the function of the system is even more out of the question. Glancing at Carlos, who was interested in circling the hole and investigating the situation on the other side, Tucker exhaled lightly, took a few steps back, and sat down by the campfire. System. As Tucker's mind surged, a dark blue page appeared in his mind. Source energy, crypt passage, source energy experience. 1.2 experience hour. Special resources, none. The current system only has a 1.2 experience hour source energy experience. It is with this source energy experience provided by the system that Tucker was able to rapidly improve his level and the proficiency of his extraordinary skills, thus possessing a good strength. He glanced at the Demon King's seal door that he had dug a hole in. Tucker clicked location search. After the search, a new area appeared. Demon King, Crypt Seal, Source Energy Experience. 5.8 Experience Hour. Special Resources, Talent Fragments. 7.2 Fragments Day. Looking at the new development location, Tucker's heart trembled slightly. The source energy experience has increased 4 times compared to before. More importantly, special resources, finally here. And it's an extremely expensive talent fragment. The functions of the talent fragments explained by the system emerged in his mind. And the great role of the extraordinary talent in the extraordinary world. For a while, many strange ripples emerged in his mind. Fortunately, Tucker, who has lived 2 lives and has sufficient experience in bizarre encounters, quickly stabilized his mind. Change to new development area, Demon King, Crypt Seal. As Tucker operated, the system prompt should sound. Anchoring the development location, Demon King, Crypt Seal. Do you want to conduct a 62-day rapid sweep? After the rapid sweep, the anchor area cannot be changed within 62 days. Every time you change a new area, you can get the opportunity for a corresponding rapid sweep. This is also a rare opportunity for rapid development. Although the anchor area cannot be changed in the next 62 days. But for a system that focuses on long-threaded stable development, this is not a problem at all. Yes, as Tucker confirmed. The development log on the right quickly recorded the entire process of the rapid sweep. On the first day, I gained 139.2 source energy experience and 7.2 talent fragments. On the second day, I gained 139.2 source energy experience and 7.2 talent fragments. On the 62nd day, I gained 139.2 source energy experience and 7.2 talent fragments. 62 days of rapid development were completed in just a dozen seconds. Talent fragments. 446. Looking at the number of talent fragments, Tucker's heart couldn't help but beat faster. Each talent fragment can increase the talent process by 1%. That is to say, these 446 talent fragments can make my extraordinary talent, precision, directly transform from C level to S level. Carlo's sister was trained by Count Lamore because she had a B-level extraordinary talent. She was even hailed as a genius of the city-state of Lamore. Once a top genius with an A-level extraordinary talent appears, many large extraordinary city-states, and even those powerful extraordinary academies, will try their best to fight for it and treat it as a core training. And the S-level extraordinary talent. Tucker's mind emerged with a few legends about the S-level extraordinary talent. Yes, the S-level extraordinary talent basically only exists in legends. And most of them are not recorded in detail. Tucker exhaled lightly, rubbed his eyebrows, and did not rashly add points. After all, Tucker didn't know what changes would happen after adding points. At least, he could only try it when he returned to his own dungeon hut and ensured safety. Oh, Tucker, something seems to be wrong around here. Just as Tucker was about to open the attribute panel, Carlos' voice suddenly sounded. Huh? Tucker turned off the system and looked around. At a glance, Tucker's heartstrings suddenly tightened. I don't know when, the thick gray fog has filled the entire cave passage. Some hazy shadows can be vaguely seen shuttling in the gray fog. Danger is brewing in the depths of the gray fog. Go. Without any hesitation, Tucker roared and was about to escape from the Demon King's sealed gate along the cave passage. The change in the gray fog is inseparable from the Demon King's sealed gate, with a hole opened. With the strength of the 2 level 9 apprentice extraordinary people, staying for 1 more second will increase the probability of exploding on the spot. For those extraordinary creature tribes, the extraordinary people with sequence frameworks are delicious food. Roar. Boom. Boom. The rolling weird hissing sound sounded in the gray fog in the direction of the 2 people's escape. The steps of the 2 people suddenly stagnated, and their faces collapsed at the same time. In the depths of the gray fog in the underground passage where the 2 came from, a female face with clear features, cold and pale, appeared. But what made the 2 tremble in their hearts was that behind the face was a thick snake body with white scales. It is at least level 28 or 29, and has the hope of being promoted to level 30 and becoming a 3rd level extraordinary creature, the human-faced stone snake ghost. If there is a supernatural adventure team led by a 2nd level extraordinary here, perhaps there is still hope to fight to the death. But now, the 2 of us. Tucker glanced at the snake body of the human-faced stone snake ghost, that was nearly as thick as a bucket, and the corners of his eyes began to twitch. May not be able to fill its stomach. 2 level 9 apprentice extraordinaries faced a 2nd level peak extraordinary creature of level 28 or 29. Straighten your back and raise your head, so that you can die with more dignity. The imagined attack did not come immediately. The human-faced stone snake ghost tilted its head, and its gray eyes kept looking at the 2 creatures in front of it that it had never seen before. 2 men and 1 snake. They fell into a brief stalemate. Tucker, what should I do? Carlos, who dared not move at all, said softly. Tucker narrowed his eyes and did not respond. The system had just harvested the special resource talent fragments. Under normal circumstances, Tucker would not rashly add a large number of points. After all, no one knows what will happen after adding a large number of points. But now, he is blocked here by the 2nd level peak extraordinary creature. If he does not add points, he will die. And adding points will give him a glimmer of hope. System, add points for me. Extraordinary talent, accuracy. 32%, SY level extraordinary talent, accuracy. This is the key to Tucker's becoming a wizard. At this time, with all 446 fragments put in, extraordinary talent changed in a second. Extraordinary talent, accuracy. 478%, S level. The range of S level extraordinary talents is 200% minus 500%, 478%. It is almost close to the ceiling of S level. Watching, accuracy, transform from C level to S level. Tucker didn't feel anything strange. No change? That shouldn't be the case. Just when Tucker was confused. Tick, tick, tick. The ticking sound of a pendulum sounded softly beside Tucker's ear, full of rhythm and rhythm. Precision is the perfect grasp of the world's veins and trajectory. The sequence information from the extraordinary talent, along with the transformation of the extraordinary talent, quickly emerged in Tucker's mind. The next moment. Buzz. The effect of the S-level extraordinary talent, precision, quickly transformed. And the world in front of Tucker also underwent earth-shaking changes with the transformation of precision. Chapter 4, Lock and Hang. Everything in the world has its own veins and trajectories. This is a sentence Tucker had read in Steam Daily. At first, Tucker had only a vague understanding of this sentence. But today, Tucker not only understood it, but also saw it. At this moment, within Tucker's field of vision, everything around him existed in the form of veins and trajectories. Veins, it is the intersection of oneself and the world, which is more reflected in the static state. Trajectory, it is the true presentation of one's own operating state, which is more reflected in the state of motion. Veins and trajectories radiate to the surrounding space in the form of lines in the dynamic process. Tucker can accurately capture the subtle changes in the trajectory and veins of any point. Is this an S-level extraordinary talent? Feeling the state of veins and trajectories perfectly presented in front of him, Tucker began to feel the surroundings carefully. Behind him, Carlos wanted to dodge the veins and trajectories that rolled to the left, but was accurately grasped by Tucker. This guy wants to dodge to the left because I'm on the left, and he wants to use me as a shield. At this point, you're still trying to be cautious with me, right? Then I'll dodge to the right next, and directly predict your prediction. Well, the human-faced stone snake ghost, the veins of the life body are becoming stable, and there is no dynamic trajectory of attack. It's still testing, it's really a cautious guy. But this just gives me more time to digest the results of the transformation of my extraordinary talent. Compared to before, it was difficult to determine when the opponent would attack and in what form. Now, with a precise vision that can see the essence of the world's trajectory and vein operation, Tucker's pressure is also much less. My spells also have their own veins and trajectories. With a precise blessing, my attack can completely fit in with the enemy's trajectory and veins and complete the intersection. It's equivalent to directly opening the lock. Tucker's eyes narrowed slightly. Not only can it hit the target, but it can also accurately hit the designated location, and hit wherever you point. Tucker found a chance to turn the tables. First, I can accurately judge the opponent's attack trajectory. As long as the physical body can react in time, it is possible to avoid the opponent's attack. Secondly, Tucker's precise vision roamed over the human-faced stone snake ghost for a moment, and finally locked onto the human-faced stone snake ghost's eyes. Aim at its eyes. Now that he has S-level accuracy, he can hit the target accurately like a headlock. If he doesn't hit the eyes, mouth, throat, anus and other weak points, it would be a shame to this talent. The eyes of the human-faced stone snake ghost are the weak points. Carlos, it's going to attack. Carlos, who is on high alert, suddenly heard Tucker's voice. What? Just as Carlos was still wondering how Tucker judged that the opponent was going to attack, the human-faced stone snake ghost suddenly opened its mouth and pounced on him like a cannonball. Oh, damn! Carlos screamed. Tucker's evasive action and the human-faced stone snake ghost's attack action were carried out simultaneously. Although Carlos was a little slower, he also avoided the attack with Tucker's reminder. Bang! As soon as Carlos rolled to the ground, he heard the familiar sound of gunfire echoing in the underground passage. Bullet tentacles, Wizard Tucker's gesture magic. Although the power of this gesture magic is not very strong, it is convenient and quick, and can be used with a raise of the hand. The gunshots ended. Roar! The human-faced stone snake ghost was furious and mixed with crazy roars, exploding in the underground passage like a huge wave. Go! Carlos was about to remind Tucker that the monster had made way for the passage, but he saw that Tucker had already run into the passage before him. He hurriedly followed. Behind him, the angry human-faced stone snake ghost had quickly caught up. At this time, the human-faced stone snake ghost's right eye had been completely shattered, leaving a bloody hole, and blood was flowing. The originally handsome face was now stained with blood, leaving only madness and cold hatred. In a crazy escape, Tucker was thinking back to the attack just now. Just now, although the opponent's movement trajectory was very fast, Tucker was still able to perfectly cut into it. Then things were very simple. Use your own spell trajectory to match the opponent's movement trajectory. The trajectory is now connected and intersected. Tucker only needs to attack, and the rest is left to precision. And the S-level precision of up to 478% did not disappoint Tucker. The 9th level hand gesture witchcraft, bullet tentacles, accurately hit the opponent's eyeball. Supernormal creatures, especially those who grow up in dangerous environments and kill, have strong supernormal physiques. The 9th level bullet tentacles severely damaged the 28th and 29th level 2nd level supernormal creatures, which is amazing enough. While running wildly, Tucker looked back slightly. The life veins of the human-faced stone snake ghost were torn open, and the vitality was fading. And it was because of this injury that the human-faced stone snake ghost went crazy and chased Tucker relentlessly. The distance between the two sides was getting closer and closer. Tucker, that guy is catching up. Feeling the stone snake ghost getting closer, Carlos was very loyal and did not hide and slip away. Tucker shook his right hand, showing a pistol posture. After the source energy was gathered, Tucker swung his arm back. The 9th level hand gesture witchcraft, bullet tentacles, attacked again. Even Tucker did not look back. If the opponent was far away, Tucker still needed precise vision to lock the opponent. However, the stone snake ghost was close enough, and the veins and trajectories did not need to be seen at all, as they were already in Tucker's perception. Bang! The gunshot fell again. A shrill wailing sound mixed with the sound of the huge snake body rolling on the ground came. The second eye of the stone snake ghost was also disabled. This scene made Carlos completely dumbfounded. This can also hit? You must be lucky. Without even looking, you can hit the target by swinging back. Those stories and biographies of extraordinary rangers dare not write like this. How did you hit it? Carlos asked in confusion. Nothing special, just practice. Tucker glanced at the stone snake ghost that had lost its ability to fight, and replied lightly. Carlos' eyes twitched, but he didn't continue to ask. It was obviously not a good habit to explore other people's secrets. In the underground passage, the stone snake ghost that lost its visual ability and had a severe head injury struggled weakly and twisted its snake body. Several oil bomb witchcrafts fell on its body, and the burning fire accelerated its death. Looking at the second-level stone snake ghost that was easily solved, Carlos had a feeling of unreality. This is a second-level extraordinary creature. When the two of them met this stone snake ghost, Carlos almost thought that he would become dinner today. The result? Tucker's two simple bullet tentacle spells solved this second-level extraordinary creature. It can't be said to be incredible, it can only be said to be very outrageous. Theoretically, if you can hit the weakness, it can indeed have such a miraculous effect. But the problem is, weak points are generally small in area, and living things will consciously protect their weak points. It is too difficult to accurately hit weak points. With the death of the second-level human-faced stone snake ghost, its snake body quickly petrified. On its head, a thumb-sized, white stone snake ghost crystal emerged. After the death of extraordinary creatures, the extraordinary sequence framework will condense crystals. These crystals are one of the materials for human promotion sequence. And the price is very expensive. Tucker carefully put the stone snake ghost crystal into a small iron box and put it away. Both of them looked at the depths of the underground passage where they had escaped all the way. Go back. Don't go back. A very realistic and difficult question was placed in front of the two. Chapter 5. There are cheating methods for playing games. After all, Carlos didn't want to risk his life on the edge of death. Just now, facing the second-level human-faced stone snake ghost, his only role was to run faster than Tucker and not hold Tucker back. If he turned back and encountered a faster and dangerous supernatural creature, it would be a big joke. It seems that we have to return empty-handed, Carlos said with a little helplessness after retracting his gaze. In fact, not only did we not return empty-handed, but we harvested a lot. Tucker's eyes narrowed slightly, examining the underground passage leading to the Demon King's seal, and said seriously, "Yes, we harvested a lot." Carlos nodded, biting the word "we" very hard. "Moreover, we also worked together to kill a second-level supernatural creature. If you didn't say it, I wouldn't have realized that we were so powerful." Glancing at Carlos, who was full of resentment, Tucker exhaled lightly and said slowly, "If the two of us opened the Demon King's seal and were discovered by the bigwigs in the city-state steam tower, the announcement must be shameless thieves, prying open the Demon King's seal, posing a huge threat to the safety of the Rammer Tower city-state, then we will be wanted. But if it is said that it was your sister, Miss Hiller, the most proud student of the Rammer Wizard Earl, who opened the Demon King's seal, then the announcement will become, the brave steam knight Hiller opened the treasure sealed by the Demon King and made a huge contribution to the Rammer Tower city-state." One version, two sets of double standards for rhetoric made Carlos stunned. "Don't say, it's really possible. It's not that there's this possibility, but it must be this result," Tucker said in a steady tone. "There's still about a week of Grey Night period. During this period, it is highly likely that no adventurers will come to this deep cave to explore the seal. Go back later, find your sister, and tell her about it. She naturally knows how to deal with it." As Tucker explained, Carlos' eyes became brighter and brighter. This is the Demon King's treasure after all. Countless adventurers covet it. Carlos seemed to see the wealth waving to him. Tucker took a deep breath, retracted his gaze from Carlos, and rubbed his eyebrows. This time, Tucker invited Carlos to cooperate. On the one hand, it was because this guy had an extraordinary bracelet that could accommodate the runestone. On the other hand, Carlos's background was strong enough. Try to open the Demon King's seal, just in case something goes wrong. At least, Carlos's strong enough background can offset a large part of the blame. And now the result is better than expected. First, Tucker completed the anchoring of the Demon King's seal area. The system played a huge role, and he ushered in the long-awaited transformation. Secondly, the Demon King's seal was opened, but not completely opened. Using the identity of Carlos' sister, reporting to the upper level must be a reward. The abandoned stone tower area. In the quiet light of the moon of ashes, Tucker and Carlos climbed up from the underground passage of the stone tower one after the other. Just as Tucker expected. He deliberately chose the gray night period to act, and the whole process was silent and unknown. Walking through the deserted stone intestine path, Carlos said with his neck shrunk. Tucker, I heard recently that a group of people are hunting wizards. As far as I know, several apprentice wizards and first-level wizards disappeared inexplicably. Well, I have heard a little bit about it. I will be careful. Tucker nodded. The city-state of Lamor is located in the border territory of the Ashland, and the environment is even more harsh. There are many mysterious organizations, even believers of evil gods, lurking here. Every once in a while, if nothing goes wrong, Tucker will find it strange. Entering the main road, Carlos said goodbye to Tucker and hurried to the high tower area. He wanted to report today's huge harvest to his sister. Tucker was going back to the underground nest area. On the deserted street, under the cold moonlight, Tucker walked forward while rubbing his slightly throbbing temple. With the S-level precision that can see into the essence, Tucker can connect the veins and trajectories of the entire world with himself through vision, feeling, touch, and spiritual perception. He can cut into those trajectories and veins with extreme precision at any time. However, a large number of feelings come from the veins and trajectories of the world, which also puts Tucker under a lot of pressure. At this time, Tucker is trying to converge his precision. As Tucker continues to master it, the effect of precision gradually converges. The veins and trajectories seen by precision vision gradually shrink and fade. The world within the vision begins to return to normal. However, Tucker still retains a part of the veins and trajectories, which remain within his normal field of vision. In this way, Tucker's normal vision is not delayed, and at the same time, Tucker can also examine the world in the dimension of veins and trajectories. The ability of an S-level extraordinary talent to see through the world is truly amazing. It allows me to see the differences between many extraordinary people, and even their secrets. Therefore, the management of expressions, movements, reactions, etc. is very important. I can't let those perceptive extraordinary people know that I have seen their secrets. The veins and trajectories allow me to easily see into the enemy's intentions, movements, and even their spells, and make predictions. Precision itself allows me to fit all the veins and trajectories and make a perfect strike. With this in mind, Tucker let out a breath. The changes brought by S-level precision are too huge. It completely overturned my previous fighting style. It takes a lot of time and energy to try to rebuild a new fighting style with precision as the core. Since the lock cheat plus half of the perspective cheat is turned on, then, if you cheat, you must have a cheating style. As long as the method is correct, combined with S-level talent, even if you're just an apprentice wizard, you can also have extremely powerful strength. What's more, I am about to be promoted to first-level wizard. Tucker's mind emerged with a second-level core material stone snake ghost crystal that he obtained while running for his life. As a second-level core material, its value is very high. Tomorrow, I will go to the underground street. Not only can I exchange it for the core promotion material of the first-level wizard, I can even have a lot of surplus. First-level wizard. Tucker's eyes narrowed slightly. It's finally here. After crossing into this dangerous world, Tucker has two goals. The first goal, the system really works. The second goal, to be promoted to first-level wizard. In this extraordinary world, level and strength are the most real existence. If Tucker were a fourth-level wizard today, then Tucker would be able to make the second-level human-faced stone snake ghost that chased him for several blocks obediently coil in front of him and listen to his story of Sushian and White Snake. At present, the system has begun to play a role steadily. And the promotion of the first-level wizard is coming. When Tucker came to his senses, under the cold night, the Griffin Crypt Tavern with yellow light penetrating through the glass was already in sight. Rubbing his slightly cold hands, Tucker pushed the door and entered. The Crypt Tavern at this time was much more lively than when Tucker left. The dozen or so extra adventurers, in groups of 3 or 5, boasted about everything under the stimulation of alcohol. A serving of black corned beef bread soup, Tucker said to the bartender at the bar. While waiting, as Tucker captured the surrounding veins, the world began to become wonderful. The levels, sequences, and even life states of ordinary adventurers were accurately perceived in Tucker's vein capture. The 3 adventurers over there have a strong and heavy aura, and their levels are about level 18 or 19. They are tough guys. The adventurer who is warming himself by the fire over there, he seems to be a little exhausted and listless. In the gray night period, there are many adventurers who have nothing to do and like to indulge themselves. Then, that is. Tucker held his breath slightly, and his eyes gradually became strong and heavy. When Tucker and Carlos were discussing things here before, in the shadow of the corner near the window and the fireplace, the extraordinary person was in a hidden state, and seemed to have listened to the conversation between the two intentionally. But he was just eavesdropping and did not take any action, so Tucker just took another look. And this time, from the time he pushed the door open to the time he sat at the bar, the inside of the hidden extraordinary person has been on him. This made Tucker alert. Enemy? That shouldn't be the case. If there's a grudge, I usually solve it on the spot and won't give them a chance to retaliate against me. Or, a long-lost relative who is suffering from a terminal illness is looking for me, his only relative, to inherit the wealth that rivals a country. After thinking about it, Tucker shook his head. This idea was too abstract. In that case, Tucker's mind flashed with the information that some wizards had disappeared recently. Could it be that they are targeting me? Chapter 6 Wizards and Hunting. Not only is there a possibility, but it is also very big. When Tucker saw that the level 9 extraordinary person hiding in the corner was indeed a hunter, he felt relieved. I often went out during the gray night period, but I didn't expect that I was really targeted. Tucker rubbed his eyebrows. It was not a problem that he was targeted by this level 9 hunter. But the hidden things behind it were the trouble. In any case, only by eating and drinking enough can you have the strength to solve the problem. At this time, the black corned beef bread soup was served. Tucker took a sip of the thick soup first, and then lowered his head to enjoy the food. As the hot soup entered his stomach, Tucker felt his body gradually warming up. About half an hour later, after eating and drinking enough, and letting the red flame bracelet absorb enough heat by the fireplace of the tavern, Tucker got up and walked out. And this time, the hunter in stealth mode followed him quietly. Last time, Carlos and I were 2 people, and this guy didn't dare to attack. Seeing that I was alone, he came up to me. Before, I could beat you, a level 9 hunter. Now I can scatter your ashes in a minute. On the deserted street, feeling the track of the hunter about 20 meters behind him. While strolling in the garden, Tucker opened the attribute panel. Supernatural sequence, wizard, level 9. Supernatural talent, precision, S level. 478%. Supernatural witchcraft ability, touch perception, ability, level 9. Bullet tentacles, level 9. Bloodthorn vines, level 9. Source scale shield, level 9. Fire oil spell, level 9. Wind run, level 9. Normally, it is difficult to upgrade the level of supernatural witchcraft ability. Many level 9 supernaturals usually have spells and abilities that are only level 4 or 5. Even the sequence ability that comes with his own extraordinary sequence is only about level 6 or 7. Tucker, with the help of the source energy experience that the system continuously develops, has already upgraded all his wizard abilities and witchcraft to level 9. This is exactly why Tucker is better than other level 9 extraordinary people. Bullet tentacles, a precise hit, I'm afraid it can kill that guy on the spot. Well, let's try the Bloodthorn Vine first. The Bloodthorn Vine has a strong control ability, but the attack action is a little slow, and the efficiency of entanglement and whipping is not high enough. It's basically useless against a flexible guy. Now that I have the blessing of S-level extraordinary talent, I'll use that hunter to try the effect. Under the cold moonlight, Hunter Nelson followed the corner of the low cave hut. In the form of stealth camouflage, he followed a young wizard like a nimble cheetah. In order to ensure that the other party would not discover him, Nelson deliberately kept a distance. Very young. I was talking to another assassin about something in a forbidden area, haha. Nelson smiled a little. These young guys are full of treasures, ruins, forbidden areas and so on. So, naive? One knife? Nelson's eyes flashed with a fierce light. This young and imaginative wizard only needs one knife. And it's a knife without any pain. Seeing that the wizard turned into the alley, Nelson quickened his pace. The opportunity came. As soon as he entered the alley, Nelson's steps suddenly froze. He saw the young wizard in a gray wizard robe was bathing in the moonlight, looking at him calmly. And the bloody halo of witchcraft was coming to an end. Not good. The hunter's sense of smell made Nelson's heart alert instantly. He was too familiar with the identity change between hunter and prey. Nelson rolled backwards at an incredible angle. At the same time, on the low wall that Nelson had been leaning on, a thorny vine with blood-red ripples emerged. Vine witchcraft. Nelson's heart stagnated when he saw the vine witchcraft. That's it. The wizard's performance before was really beyond Nelson's expectations, which made him very afraid. And the opponent's attack at this time was completely beyond Nelson's expectations. This slow-moving vine will not have any effect in front of the hunter. I thought he was a master, but he turned out to be a loser? Maybe I should roll forward instead of running back. Nelson, who had just landed after rolling backwards, bounced forward directly. Nelson wanted to correct his previous mistakes, close the distance with a witchcraft, and quickly end the battle. Just when Nelson jumped high and the arc of his jump was about to outline a perfect trajectory under the moonlight. Swoosh, a sharp and piercing sound of breaking through the air sounded. What? Nelson had not yet reacted. Severe pain came from the left calf. His perfect jumping arc was suddenly pulled to the ground with great force. Bang! A dull sound. Nelson's face came into close contact with the cold ground, and his nosebleed could not stop flowing out. Painful wails sounded in the moonlight. In the alley, looking at the unlucky hunter, Tucker exhaled lightly. The bonus of S-level, precision, to vines, seems to be a little bit big. The casting process is normal, but the bloodthorn vines after forming are completely different. Tucker recalled the veins and trajectory of the bloodthorn vines just now. The bloodthorn vines follow the opponent's trajectory, burst out and ricochet, and while hitting perfectly, they also complete the entanglement. Searching for the enemy, attacking, entanglement, all in one go. The precision characteristic is perfectly reflected in the vines themselves. Tucker's eyes narrowed slightly. The originally slow vines instantly turned into crazy devil vines. No, this is more terrifying than the advanced witchcraft devil vines. S-level extraordinary talent, no wonder the rumors are vague, this is indeed too outrageous. After a simple test of the bloodthorn vines, Tucker turned his attention back to the hunter. Painful groans, desperate struggles. No matter how you look at it, it looks like it's about to die. Poor acting. For the hunter who has the ability of disguise, Tucker would not believe it even a little. Under Tucker's precise vision, it can be seen that the hunter is not only pretending to be dead, but also has the veins and trajectories of counterattack. You like to play dead, right? With one move, Tucker cast the bloodthorn vine witchcraft again. The hunter, who was about to die, bounced up instantly. The pain just now was half real and half fake. The purpose was to make the wizard take the bait. Who would have thought that the wizard would not only not take the bait, but would go even further and cast the vine spell again? Nelson wasted half a day, and let the damn vine suck a lot of his blood. I hate these long-range spellcasters. Fight like a man if you dare. Nelson bounced up and let out an angry roar, which was completely different from the dying look before. He chopped down the vine wrapped around his calf with a hunting blade in his hand. Bang! Gunshots rang out. The hunting blade in Nelson's hand flew out of his hand, and his entire palm was numb from the shock. Clang! The hunting blade fell to the ground, and the second vine also wrapped around Nelson's right leg. At this time, Nelson was completely confused with the sound of the hunting blade falling to the ground. How is this possible? Chapter 7 Steam Sequence. Both legs were locked by bloodthorn vines, and his hunting blade was shot away by the opponent's lucky shot. Nelson, whose head was buzzing, was already a prisoner, but he refused to accept it. If he missed a little bit, I could have killed him. Damn luck. Nelson muttered in a low voice with his mouth stained with dust and nosebleed. Who sent you? Unlike the opponent's experienced and refined fighting skills, the opponent's voice was very childish. Nelson grinned. Maybe he was strong, but he was just a child after all. I just saw that you were young, so I wanted to do something. This is too common in the city-state of Lamore. Now, I lost, you can take all the valuable things on me. Kid, you are still young, don't go astray. Nelson said half pitifully and half persuadingly. Tucker took a deep breath and rubbed his eyebrows. I think you haven't understood the seriousness of the matter yet. Tucker raised his right hand. The hand gesture magic bullet tentacle was activated. With a bang, one of Nelson's ears exploded. The pain stimulated the tears and snot on Nelson's cheeks as he fell to the ground and wailed. Unlike the previous disguise, this time he was acting in his true colors. A full minute passed. The wailing gradually weakened. Tucker's voice sounded steadily. Although the bloodthorn vines can't suck blood as quickly and in large quantities as the vampire vines, but there are advantages to being slow. You can enjoy the process of the bloodthorn vines sucking your thighs dry. If your life force is high enough, you can even enjoy the bloodthorn vines sucking your body dry. You can waste your time, I don't mind. Also, your sleeve arrows are very good, but they will soon be mine. Tucker's slow and logical words made Nelson feel cold in his heart. He found my hidden arrow. How did he find it? And he never came close to me from beginning to end. Until now, he has been extremely vigilant against me. Is this guy a devil? Nelson, whose throat was a little dry, finally felt a little scared. I'll let you live if I tell you. Nelson just opened his mouth. Bang! The gunshots ended, and Nelson's second ear also exploded. You are not qualified to negotiate with me. You don't have to say it. I will waste a little more time to investigate, but you will linger on the verge of death for a long time. Tucker's tone was as calm as ever. Nelson, whose two ears were exploded, could no longer hear Tucker's voice. But now, he has deeply felt the horror and cruelty of this young demon. What's more cruel is that when the second ear exploded, the wizard used the third vine to entangle his arm with the hidden arrow. Now, he can't even commit suicide. Nelson is not a hard-headed person. After feeling that his calf has become skin and bones, he quickly told the truth about what he knew. A quarter of an hour later, Tucker looked at the hunter's body on the ground, which had been completely looted, and the sheriff who came late in the distance. Tucker started to release the kerosene bomb. When the fire burned fiercely on the body, Tucker had disappeared. With the guidance of the firelight, two sheriffs wearing the official sheriff uniforms of the principality soon appeared at the entrance of the alley. The young sheriff, who had just taken office, saw that it was the body that was burning. He hurriedly wanted to go up and put out the fire. Someone wants to destroy the body. The young sheriff wanted to maintain the justice that existed in the city-state of Lamore Tower, but it was not much. But he was stopped by the old sheriff on the side. It's just that someone set a small fire that was insignificant. The old sheriff said earnestly. But the young sheriff wanted to say something else, but he didn't know how to start. He could only watch the body burn like this. This damn weather. The old sheriff shrank his neck and approached the burning body. A pair of eyes carefully examined the flames and corpses. The flames are very powerful. They can ignite the extraordinary characteristics of a level 9 hunter. They are at least first-level spellcasters. This fire can burn for a long time. Glancing at the young sheriff who was reluctant to approach, the old sheriff chuckled. This is the Lamore Tower city-state in the Ashland. The more you understand, the longer you can live. In the underground nest area, in the residence corridor. In a not-so-wide underground corridor. The smell of decay and stench permeated it. Occasionally, one or two figures can be seen, and they are all hurriedly shuttling in the underground corridor. In a cave hut. Tucker took off his gray wizard robe, revealing the chain mail inside. This is a relatively safe underground hut. This is the only property left to Tucker by Tucker's parents. Through the surface window, Tucker looked at the deserted corridor outside, thinking about the news he had pried out from Hunter Nelson before. The situation seemed to be more complicated than Tucker expected. I wonder which evil organization has used the city-state of Lamore as an ATM. It's only been half a year since something like this happened last time. Don't they know how to develop sustainably? Even this time, they didn't even let go of a weak 9th level apprentice wizard like me. Let me grow steadily to level 100, and then come to die, ahem. Isn't it better to hunt me again? A mysterious organization reached an agreement with a local hunter gang where Nelson was. Hunt wizards and obtain wizard sequence crystals. Whether it's an apprentice wizard or a first-level wizard, it's all fine. This is the information Tucker got from the hunter Nelson. And in return, Tucker shot him in the head with a simple shot. It was a painless shot. Evil organization, local gangster. These two forces that are not uncommon in the city-state of Lamore Tower are obviously not something Tucker can provoke now. Normal wizard promotion does not require additional wizard crystals to enhance their wizard framework. Since it is necessary, that proves that this is not a simple promotion. It is most likely steam upgrade. Tucker's eyes narrowed slightly. From an ordinary wizard to a steam wizard with stronger comprehensive strength and extremely high potential. It is the dream of all wizards in the steam extraordinary era. This is also one of Tucker's pursuits. In this era of steam roaring, steam sequence, as an upgrade sequence, has been profoundly changing and even reshaping the world. It can be said that steam sequence is the version answer of the new era. From Nelson's explanation, this time, the mysterious organization is rich and powerful, and it is coming with great momentum. It seems that we have to be careful during this period. Even if I have S-level extraordinary talent, I am just an apprentice wizard. Let's follow the previous plan and upgrade to the first level first to improve our strength in all aspects. Only when you are strong enough will you not be afraid of those evil gang organizations and local gangs. Only then can you survive in this turbulent and bizarre Ashland. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 8: Elite Demon Wolf Heart. The cities in the Ashland basically have their own underground streets. The underground street of the Lamore Tower city-state is not too big, but the intricate struggles of various forces there are not inferior to those in big cities. Underground street, obsidian material store. Inside the stone house in the corridor, the not-so-bright wall lamps, after stacking 6 lamps, illuminate the small house. Old Calm, who covered his slightly gray hair with a brown cowboy hat, was holding a magnifying glass and looking at the second-level core soul crystal material in the iron box. Very good second-level material. After a long time, Old Calm put the second-level core material back into the small iron box and praised it. 20 magic gold. Old Calm rarely offered a generous price. Perhaps you can take a closer look. Tucker, who was sitting opposite the long wooden table, was unmoved by the price. Haha. Tucker, our transaction is not the first or second time. You know, the second-level core material is this price. Old Calm replied with a smile as he lay back. In that case, goodbye. Tucker took the small iron box in his hand and was about to stand up. Seeing this, Old Calm made an annoyed sound. Damn it. Okay, I'll take a look again. Tucker pushed the small iron box over with an expressionless face. 25 magic gold. After re-examining it, Old Calm gave a new price. 30 magic gold. 30 magic gold? I'll lose a lot if I take it. Then you can choose not to take it. 26 magic gold. This is my last bottom line. Why don't you raise your bottom line a little higher? 30 magic gold. You little devil, is this the only price you can offer? Well, 31 magic gold. Tucker thought about it and said so. Old Calm, who was speechless by Tucker, didn't say anything for a long time. 28 magic gold. In the end, Old Calm offered the price of his new bottom line. Although the sequence power carried by the soul crystal material has the tendency to transform into an elite creature, it has not transformed after all. I really don't know how you got such a top-level second-order material. Old Calm shook his head. Even if it's me, I don't dare to face those dangerous second-order extraordinary creatures. Besides, Old Calm's eyes narrowed into a thin line. I have good stuff, do you want it? Although Tucker came to the underground street this time just to exchange materials. But the good stuff mentioned by Old Calm, Tucker was obviously hesitant. Let's take a look first. With a powerful and precise vision, Tucker's depth of seeing objects is far beyond that of other extraordinary people. Otherwise, Tucker would not have discovered that the second-order stone snake ghost crystal is a top-level material that is about to transform into an elite biological sequence. You are lucky, Tucker, such good things are not available to ordinary people. Old Calm turned around, opened the iron gate, and disappeared into the dark corridor behind the iron gate. Tucker sat quietly in the same place, sorting out his thoughts. Soul. Source energy. Life. These are the 3 key materials that an apprentice wizard needs to be promoted to first-level wizard. In the last round of adventure, Tucker got the first-level soul material he needed, Howling Banshee Soul Crystal. Source energy materials are relatively cheap, and Tucker bought it early at the price of 12 magic gold. It is a source pool crystal of the top-level Kobold Sacrifice, which can expand Tucker's not small source pool. For wizards, the size of the source pool largely determines the number of times a spell is released. And the number of times a spell is released determines life and death. What Tucker lacks now is a life material. In the early stage, when the wizard's spell is not so powerful, the strong physique provided by the life material is still very important. So Tucker has been looking for it for a long time. And for Tucker now, the strength of life and physique is particularly important. A sufficiently strong, flexible, and fully maneuverable physique, with perfect prediction, it can allow Tucker to avoid many dangers and injuries. Soon, Old Calm came out with a parchment scroll. That was not an ordinary parchment scroll, but a parchment scroll with certain extraordinary properties. Seal, store. After staring for a moment, Tucker saw the extraordinary properties of this parchment scroll. Extraordinary properties are the manifestation of the properties of the original material of the extraordinary world. At least that's how Tucker explained it from his memory. For example, if a certain original material becomes stronger after being absorbed, then the original material has a defensive property. If a certain original material, after being stacked, shows the property of being able to seal other powers, then it is undoubtedly a sealing property. Or, if a certain original material becomes stronger after being absorbed, then the material has a soul property. For the knight sequence, defense property plus strength property plus life property constitutes the cornerstone of its own sequence. For Tucker's wizard sequence framework, it is soul plus source energy plus life. Of course, the life property of the knight sequence lies in the strength of life, the ability to fight and resist. The life of the wizard sequence is more about the essential form of life, and a longer lifespan. Where does the source material come from? These extraordinary materials that Tucker bought now are it. Using his own wizard sequence, absorb the original characteristics of these materials, so that his extraordinary sequence can be transformed and complete a qualitative leap. This is the essence of the advancement of the extraordinary. At this time, Tucker identified the extraordinary characteristics by identifying the presentation state of the veins. This is one of the directions for Tucker to develop the potential of precise vision. Be careful, this is a real elite level magic wolf heart. Old Calm warned. Real elite level materials? Tucker's heart moved slightly. The advancement of the extraordinary requires a variety of extraordinary materials. The most common materials are ordinary level produced from various ordinary extraordinary creatures. One level higher than ordinary level materials are elite level materials. Extraordinary creatures that can produce elite level materials. Either they are the best of their kind, or they are born to be powerful biological species, such as extremely rare creatures such as star spirits, behemoths, titans, and dragons. It is said that above the elite level materials, there are leader level materials, and even the legendary lord level materials. But, for normal people, materials of that level may kill them if they try. Take the parchment scroll. Bang, bang. The strong and powerful heartbeat sounded beside Tucker's ears, and there was a tendency to intensify. Then, bloodthirsty tyranny and fanatical killing will emerge in Tucker's mind. The elite level materials silently affected Tucker. If it were in the past, Tucker might have been really affected. But now, the veins produced by the magic wolf material and Tucker intersected, and Tucker was perfectly grasped. Tucker can fully experience the power of the magic wolf heart, but will not be affected by its negative effects at all. Huh? After a long time, Tucker put down the parchment scroll. It is indeed an elite material, and it is a very strong elite material, and the extraordinary characteristics are very powerful. Tucker praised. Of course. Old Calm smiled. So when I take the promotion potion, I will die quickly, right? Old Calm's smile froze on his cheek. Haha. How is that possible? Soon, Old Calm's smile covered up his embarrassment. You are a powerful wizard who can come up with a lot of expensive materials. You have to have confidence in yourself. Tucker was completely undeceived by Old Calm. The will of the magic wolf has penetrated into the sequence material. The reason for the seal is to seal the will of the magic wolf, not the seal material. To be precise, this is a contaminated elite material. Old Calm, whose little thoughts were exposed, was a little angry. But that is also an elite material. Tucker smiled and quoted his price. 12 magic gold. Tucker has been looking for life materials for a long time. This magic wolf heart can be said to be the best material Tucker has ever encountered, although it is contaminated. However, Tucker, who has the track and veins of cutting in, is fully confident that he can block the will of the elite magic wolf. The general first level promotion materials are 8 magic gold to 12 magic gold. The price of elite materials is between 15 and 20 magic gold. Tucker directly lowered the price to the level of ordinary materials. 12 magic gold, why don't you go and rob it? Old Calm's voice suddenly rose a level. Tucker looked unconcerned. The will of the magic wolf and the beating heart tend to merge. As time goes by, this contaminated material will gradually become scrapped. If you insist on not selling it, there is no need for me to take the risk. After hesitating for a moment, Old Calm finally nodded. 12 magic gold is 12 magic gold, deal. Before Tucker, 3 adventurers had explored this elite material, but they all refused without a doubt. Are all the extraordinary people now cowards? They dare not risk their lives. Every time the sale failed, Old Calm would slam the table and roar angrily. This time Tucker gave a pretty good price. Old Calm finally solved this hot potato. Hey, Tucker, if you want to advance to the first level, you'd better be careful. A mysterious organization is hunting wizards. First level wizards are their main targets. After the transaction, Old Calm, who was in a much better mood, provided Tucker with a valuable piece of information for free. I already know it, and we've fought each other. Tucker responded calmly. That guy passed away peacefully. Chapter 9. This evil organization is so rude. Oh. After putting away his things, Old Calm raised his cowboy hat, and looked at Tucker carefully with a pair of slightly cloudy but shrewd eyes, and laughed softly. Well done. Those evil gat organizations have been increasingly fond of making trouble in border cities recently. Also, the local gangs are becoming more and more ignorant of their limits. They are becoming more and more skilled in targeting local people. He took out his pipe, lit it, took a few deep puffs, and told the story with a hint of nostalgia, accompanied by a puff of smoke. Back then, the locals of the city-state of Rammer Tower were very united. And Count Rammer, oh, yes, it was Baron Rammer back then. He always stood on the front line of the city wall, using his magic to fight against those filthy creatures from underground. Using magic to heal the injured supernatural beings. He also delivers food to those families who have no food during the gray night. Well, Count Rammer has not left the tower for a long, long time. Otherwise, those evil gat organizations would never dare to set foot in the city-state of Rammer Tower. Back then, Baron Rammer's favorite thing was to tie the evil gad's believers to the cross in the center of the city-state and pour a thick layer of black oil on the stacked wood. Then end the evil god's sinful life in the most simple and primitive way. Haha. I'm old, and I always like to nag. Among the young people I know, you're the only one who can listen patiently. After knocking out the ash in his pipe, Old Calm straightened his face. Just yesterday, that group of people increased their efforts to hunt wizards. Even, they have begun to inquire about the more powerful wizards in the Wizard Lamore Tower. You are probably on the list. And, yesterday in the underground nest area, wizards were hunted. How dare they? Tucker frowned. Even if they hide at home, they will be caught and killed. This group of evil god organizations are too rude. They are evil god organizations. They dare to sacrifice a city-state. What else can't they do? Old Calm smiled. Are there no local wizards to resist? Tucker frowned. There is a group of wizards who formed a small organization. But unfortunately, they discussed well in the house, but they were sold out when they went out. And then there was nothing else. Old Calm laughed. Many wizards are running or hiding now. You are basically the only one who dares to come out and even advance to the next level, even though you know someone is hunting you. You? Old Calm asked in a low voice, leaning forward. Are you interested in the upgrade material of the evil gat organization, the steam collar? How could I have such a bold idea? I'm just an ordinary apprentice wizard. Tucker spread his hands, with a look on his face that said don't wrong me. You probably don't even believe what you said. Old Calm smiled. If you really want to be promoted to the first level, I can provide some help. At least I can guarantee your safety during the promotion process. After thinking about it, Tucker shook his head. After all, you have given me enough information, how dare I bother you? If you can have this attitude when bargaining, I can live at least 2 more years. Old Calm said unhappily. Bid farewell to Old Calm. Walking on the underground street that is not wide but not crowded, Tucker used the powerful precision to perfectly restrain his wizard sequence characteristics. Now Tucker has begun to apply the precision characteristics to all aspects, including sequence, source energy, and even the control of the body. He restrained his wizard identity. This way, at least he can walk safely on the underground streets, instead of being secretly shot by a hunter. I originally wanted to complete the advancement at home. Now it seems that the underground nest area has been set up by the Evil God organization. I advanced 1 second ago, and the next second, I will be checked by those Evil God organizations. A bunch of lawless guys. When I advance, you will have a hard time. Tucker rubbed his eyebrows and thought about the next place to advance to the first level wizard. As long as the mind does not slip, there are always more solutions than difficulties. At worst, he really went deep into the underground and squeezed with the dog-headed people. Or, Tucker also had several prepared hiding places in the depths of the wilderness. Tucker was also afraid that he would touch the seal of the Demon King and have an accident. Several backup plans have been found. The Demon King seal accident did not allow Tucker to use these backup plans. Instead, the Evil God organization was wreaking havoc in the city-state of Lamor, and these backup plans had to be used. It's just the Evil God organization, hunting in the city-state of Lamor. The good underground areas under the steam tower are good hiding places. That's it. A very good hiding place emerged in Tucker's mind. It was safe and warm. The only problem was that there were a lot of rats there. If it was before, Tucker might not dare to approach there. But with the S-level precision, like a padlock, Tucker had enough confidence to open up a large mansion with 3 bedrooms and 2 living rooms there. Carrying the lantern he had taken from Old Calm, Tucker sneaked into the underground passage near a tomb tunnel near the tower area. The lantern at dusk illuminated the dark passage. Tucker walked forward slowly. The range of S-level extraordinary talent is 200% minus 500%. The range of SS-level extraordinary talent is 500% minus 1000%. My S-level extraordinary talent is 478%, 7.2 fragments a day. In a few days, I can reach SS level. After crossing the critical point of 500%, there should be a relatively large transformation. At that time, whether it is the promotion to the first level wizard, or the battle after the promotion, it will be stronger. As Tucker sneaked, some skeletons began to appear in the passage that was 5 or 6 meters high and 3 or 4 meters wide. As he moved forward, more and more skeletons appeared. There were human skeletons, rat skeletons, goblin skeletons, and of course the most were the skeletons of dog-headed people. In the deep underground of the Lamor Tower city-state, in the underground city area, there was a very large dog-headed people tribe. That group of dog-headed people who could eat and reproduce were quite dissatisfied with the Lamor Tower on the surface. This forced the Lamor Tower to build a crypt passage defense line. Soon, the rock and soil on the ground were completely submerged by bones. Tucker raised the lantern. Under the dim light of the glass lantern, a thin mist of the dead filled the passage. The ground was covered with the bones, and the walls on both sides and even the top of the passage were inlaid with a large number of bones. Skeleton Passage. This is the name of this mysterious and dangerous underground passage. The smell of death was dancing at the tip of Tucker's nose. Tucker could even hear rustling sounds. That was the sound of skeleton rats foraging in the bones. Yes, there are a lot of rats here, referring to the skeleton rats. Chapter 10 Wizard Seed. Squeak. A rat skeleton as big as an orange cat. It quickly pounced towards Tucker, who was holding a lantern. The rat skeleton was very fast. But it was still not faster than Tucker's bullets. He raised his hand and fired a sniper. Bang! The whole skull of the rat skeleton was directly shattered. The sound of gunfire echoed in the skeleton passage. The rustling sound was stagnant at first, but soon, dense squeaks came like a tide. Damn it! Tucker, who knew that he had poked the rat's nest, began to retreat with the lantern. At the same time, Tucker quickly released thorn vines on the wall of the passage, and released them one by one. Soon, from the depths of the passage, there was the sound of thorn vines whipping and bones breaking. The squeaking of the rats became more and more angry. These rat skeletons are at levels 1-3. The thorn vines with S-level precision basically whipped one or even several rat skeletons. The thorn vines on the wall were unlikely to be threatened by the skeleton rats. No harm to the monsters. This is why Tucker dared to go deep into here. When Tucker released 15 or 16 thorn vines, the squeaking of the rats no longer spread to Tucker. It consumed 1/3 of the source power to stop the skeleton rats, which is not bad. After feeling the source power in his body, Tucker put the source energy potion in his hand back into the belt bag. After waiting for the sound of the skeleton rats to completely disappear in the passage, Tucker returned to the skeleton passage. Just as Tucker expected, the thorn vines on the rock wall of the passage stopped the advancement of the rats with amazing killing efficiency. The deeper the thorn vines were, the more rat skeletons were piled up. Squeak. The rat skeleton, which had been seriously injured but not completely dead, poked its head out from the pile of rat skeletons. With a pop sound, the afterimage passed by. The thorn vines smashed the rat skeleton's upper body with an astonishing speed. Precision allows my spells to deeply fit the trajectory and veins, greatly enhancing the attack speed and accuracy. Bullet tentacles have the greatest benefit, and can even be said to be the ultimate transformation. Thorn vines are second, standing still to output, highlighting a fierceness and efficiency. Shield, speed, these two spells are basically not blessed by precision. Fuel bombs have a certain effect, but not much. After all, this spell itself is an AoE range attack. It doesn't really need accuracy. When choosing spells later, you need to choose spells that can perfectly cooperate with precision. During the battle, Tucker was also constantly trying to figure out how to maximize the effect of precision. Bullet tentacles with locked heads, plus thorny vines that can stop large-scale attacks by rats. Other extraordinary people dare not go deep into the skeleton tunnel. Tucker walked on flat ground. About an hour later, after consuming 3 bottles of source energy potions and killing countless rat skeletons, Tucker finally found a suitable place. This is an underground tunnel about 100 meters long. One end of the tunnel is in the skeleton tunnel. At the other end, there is a huge well with a diameter of about 3 meters leading deep underground. Under precise vision, the air from the depths of the well is slowly flowing up. In other words, this is a way out. If an accident occurs, Tucker can jump into the well to survive. After arranging a source energy barrier in the tunnel and placing the sachets to disperse the rat skeletons, Tucker's temporary underground residence is officially completed. This is much better than the environment in the extraordinary wilderness. Compared to those huge blood-stinging mosquitoes like dragonflies in the wilderness, and the screaming bees that scare people at every turn, those rat skeletons are simply good babies. Tucker cleaned up a clean area next to the well hole and sat quietly for a while. A golden ball of light emerged in Tucker's mind. This is Tucker's extraordinary sequence, Wizard Seed. As an apprentice wizard, the sequence presents the form of Wizard Seed. Once the Wizard Seed is watered with sequence potions, the Wizard Seed will take root and sprout. A real wizard is born. Wizard Tree is the core of the wizard. Extraordinary talents, wizard abilities, and extraordinary witchcraft are all centered on the Wizard Tree. Every wizard's Wizard Tree is a small-scale but perfectly structured extraordinary sequence ecology. Although Tucker has not used sequence potions to water his wizard seeds. But at this time, Tucker's wizard seed is completely different from before. Compared with the previous light golden color of the wizard seed, Tucker's wizard seed now presents an extremely bright golden color. The spells and wizard abilities with certain extraordinary characteristics that were scattered around randomly before have now become regular. The entire sequence ecology that has not yet been officially cultivated has already shown a vibrant state. The reason why it can have such an incredible change is naturally because of the S-level extraordinary talent, precision. The veins and trajectories of the world's operation are flawless in themselves. I just didn't see it. And with a precise insight into the veins of the world's operation, my sequence ecology has naturally changed. I find the horror of this S-level extraordinary talent more and more. It will take more than 2 days to accumulate enough fragments to transform my precision to SS level. Just quietly polish my wizard seed first. Although Tucker can upgrade himself by directly adding experience through the system. But the promotion of keynodes cannot be solved by adding points. The detailed perception and control of the wizard seed still needs time to settle. When Tucker was practicing in the remote corner of the skeleton cave, in the depths of the skeleton cave where the source energy is very rich and the skeletons are dense, a sturdy silver skeleton was in a sleeping state. Suddenly, the faint green soul fire in the pupil of the silver skeleton quickly increased, and then covered the entire pupil. The silver skeleton gradually woke up. Standing up, the silver skeleton looked around. He could feel that the flow of source energy around him was abnormal. The silver skeleton, who did not have much wisdom, subconsciously began to carry out the master's orders. Guard the 9 source energy wells here. If those rat skeletons cut off the flow of source energy, destroy them. The silver skeleton fumbled in the pile of bones beside him for a while and took out a silver and sharp bone knife. Then, the silver skeleton slowly explored the depths of the intricate skeleton cave. Chapter 11, The Necromancer. 2 days passed quickly. Next to the source well, Tucker looked at the 22 talent fragments produced by the system and smiled slightly. I don't know what kind of changes will happen after the transformation from S level to SS level, crossing the critical point of 500%. Tucker took a deep breath and looked forward to it. Opening the attribute panel, Tucker added all 22 talent fragments to the S level, precision. At the same time as 478% became 500%, the S level, precision, also became SS level. A slightly strange feeling came to my heart. The complete and heavy veins and trajectory vision reappeared. Compared with the last time, after entering the SS level this time, Tucker could feel that he was more in line with the trajectory and veins of the world. He could accurately grasp any vein node in the world around him. The world he felt with his eyes closed was also much larger than when he was at the S level. At the same time, he entered the SS level. The direction of precision enhancement became cut in. It can better and more perfectly cut into different tracks and vein nodes. It makes precision even more precise. With the enhancement in the SS level range, I can even trace back along the track. It seems to be. Tucker's eyes narrowed slightly. Lock plus automatic tracking. That's the idea, but as the characteristics of the SS level extraordinary talent, there must be more than that. The range of SS level is 500% minus 1000%. I just crossed the threshold of 500%. The essence of SS level has not yet been highlighted. After a period of improvement, the more powerful characteristics of SS level will be highlighted. After a careful experience, Tucker suppressed the newly born SS level, precision. Then he focused on the wizard sequence in his body. The transformation of extraordinary talent is complete, and I can finally advance. Tucker's eyes narrowed slightly. Promoted to the first level, the wizard seed blooms. Soul, life, and source energy will all be transformed in all directions. First level wizard. It is the real beginning of contact with the extraordinary world. Suddenly, Tucker looked up into the depths of the passage. The energy barrier that Tucker had built to block the rat skeleton was broken. What did the rat skeleton do? The precise vision was released silently. In the dark passage, a silver skeleton with a sturdy body, 2 meters tall, holding a shining bone knife, came into Tucker's sight. And the silver skeleton in the dark also saw Tucker. A first-level peak silver skeleton. Tucker's heart moved slightly. This place is so close to the tower area, and such a rare skeleton can still be produced. Moreover, this seems to be the ecological environment of rats. Looking at this skeleton creature that is completely different from the local rat skeleton and should belong to the gift of nature type. Tucker didn't hesitate too much, and raised his hand to shoot a bullet tentacle. Bang! The witchcraft bullet tentacle, with unparalleled precision, exploded in the head along the eye socket of the silver skeleton. The soul flame of the silver skeleton was shaken by this blow, and the body swayed. When the soul flame of the silver skeleton stabilized, 2 bloodthorn vines had already wrapped around the 2 arms of the silver skeleton, and they were stretched tight and straight. The silver skeleton immediately struggled. Don't struggle. Tucker walked slowly, stretched out his right hand and condensed a fire oil bomb in his palm. Although my bloodthorn vine is only level 9, the toughness and strength of the spell framework have been strengthened by me. You can't get rid of it at all. While speaking, the fire oil bomb in Tucker's hand had increased from the size of an egg to the size of an ostrich egg. He manipulated the fire oil bomb and pressed it hard against the ribs on the chest of the silver skeleton. The semi-solid and semi-liquid fire oil bomb, as if it had life, quickly spread along the silver bones of the silver skeleton. The blazing flame burned violently. Deep in his pupils, the burning silver skeleton was reflected, and even Aubrey could vaguely feel the blazing heat. The flame is very strong, not an ordinary level 9 flame, otherwise my level 19 silver skeleton would not be ignited so easily. Then the question is, where did this powerful little guy come from? At the core of the skeleton passage, the undead tower constructed entirely of black skeletons stood here. The undead wizard Aubrey pushed open the window and came to the balcony. The breath of death in the house surged out with him. Just now, Aubrey felt the information of his silver skeleton. There is an enemy invasion. When he manipulated the eye of the undead to look over, Aubrey suddenly made a new discovery. The one who attacked his skeleton was an apprentice wizard. A bullet was injected into the skull of the skeleton. Not bad, it's quite accurate. Then, the fast, accurate, and fierce vine tentacles pulled the undead skeleton left and right. You know, it was just a level 9 vine. 19 silver skeletons are much more powerful than ordinary skeletons. But they just couldn't break free. The last kerosene bomb put an end to this simple confrontation. The young wizard's technique was too skillful, and as an apprentice wizard, his witchcraft was also ridiculously powerful. So much so that Aubrey couldn't ignore it. I heard that the genius member of the Dark Sun Church, who came to the city-state of Lamor this time, is extremely talented and very young. For that new member, they have hunted many wizards during this period. It is said that they have prepared a steam core to allow the genius to complete the steam upgrade in the city-state of Lamor. Aubrey's mind emerged with that young, calm face with no expression when he attacked. The impressions of the two gradually overlapped. Could it be? I really met him. Well, no matter what, I can't let him run away. As the silver skeleton was burned, soon, a bone crystal about the length of a finger bone fell out. Undead creature crystal. It can't be used as a promotion material, but it's not bad for a supernatural weapon material. Probably, the price is about 3 magic gold. After putting away the finger bone crystal, Tucker looked at the bottomless well behind him, and then looked at the skeleton passage outside. I can't stay here anymore. Just now, when Tucker killed this silver skeleton, Tucker saw the traces of someone spying on him. Although the traces were very faint, Tucker still felt it. Originally thought that this first-level skeleton was a gift from nature. Now it seems that it is very likely the property of the Undead Wizard Tower in the Lamor Tower city-state. So the question is it to escape from the well or escape from the skeleton cave? I just killed a patrolling skeleton, which is only 3 magic gold. Such a big shot, there is no need to hunt me down for 3 magic gold. Let's go. After a little thought, Tucker cast wind sprint on himself and rushed towards the skeleton cave. At the beginning, Tucker was a little relaxed. After all, it was just a first-level skeleton. But as time went on, Tucker found that the skeleton cave in front of him seemed to be infinitely extended, and the end could not be seen at a glance. The more he ran, the gloomier Tucker's face became. At this time, there was a voice behind him. Tucker turned around and looked. He saw that the skeletons were pouring in like a tide. The big shot on the Tower of the Undead took action. Tucker's eyes twitched wildly. Damn it, I just lit a firecracker. You're not going to move a cannon to hit me on the head. Chapter 12. My Lord Aubrey, I surrender. Tucker raised his hands high, and even held in one hand the undead finger bone worth 3 magic gold that he had just obtained. Isn't the 3 magic gold that can make the undead wizard Aubrey personally take action a huge sum of money? The skeleton wave stopped at Tucker's toes while rolling, making a clang-clang sound. Inside the undead wizard's tower, Aubrey frowned slightly. It was not the other party's surrender that made him stop. It was the other party's accent. It was very authentic, and it took more than 10 years to develop a local accent. And as far as he knew, the genius of the Dark Sun Evil God Church seemed to have only been here for a month or two, and it was impossible for him to adapt to the local customs so thoroughly. Did you make a mistake? Locals. Aubrey's withered fingers gently tapped a balcony railing. Besides, surrendering if you can't beat them is indeed a local tradition in Lamor. The skeleton wave quickly gathered into a huge cheek on the top of the cave. What's your name? Tucker. Tucker said truthfully. Local. Yes. Tucker nodded. Why did you come here? To avoid the hunting of the Evil God organization outside, those rampant Evil God organization members. They even directly captured wizards in the underground nest area. That's where I live. I have no choice but to hide here. I accidentally blasphemed your skeleton warrior. Please forgive me, Lord Aubrey. The huge skeleton face glanced at the finger bones in Tucker's hand and fell into deep thought. Does he really think I'm here to trouble him because of that little skeleton? Aubrey was a little amused. During the communication, using the insight power of the Undead Tower, Aubrey has preliminarily determined that this young wizard is just an ordinary wizard, rather than a Dark Sun believer who believes in Dark Sun, and has a distorted sequence ecology. Live in the underground nest area. Children with talents, Haven't they been recruited to the tower area a long time ago? It seems the entire recruitment system needs a certain rectification. What is your talent? Aubrey's skeleton face asked. Tucker was slightly startled, and vaguely sensed something. Sea level 32%, accuracy. Tucker responded truthfully. Well, come over. Crash. The skeletons dispersed, and a passage emerged. Tucker took a deep breath, stabilized his mind, and walked over slowly. Although Tucker's goal after becoming a first-level wizard was to enter the tower, learn the witchcraft in the tower, obtain more rare materials, and even obtain the rare steam core in the steam tower and upgrade to a steam wizard. But I didn't expect. I actually came into contact with the undead wizard in the steam tower in this way. Passing through the long skeleton passage, an undead tower built of black undead skeletons in a wide underground space appeared in front of Tucker. And around the undead tower, bones piled up like mountains. The veins of death used the undead tower as the hub center to construct a sequence ecology of dark undead. Those bones are all potential undead skeleton warriors. I heard that every time the underground city's kobold army attacks, if the underground defense line cannot be defended, they will ask the undead wizard for help. It turns out that the undead wizard really has a legion of undead hidden here. Tucker was secretly sighing when he arrived under the undead tower. Squeak. Ah. The big door of the undead tower, which had not been opened for many years, slowly opened. A middle-aged man in his 40s, wearing a black wizard robe and a wide-brimmed wizard hat, with a thin face but quite fair complexion, appeared in front of Tucker. Tucker was familiar with the big men in charge of the Lamore Tower city-state. After all, the Lamore city-state was able to be stationed safely in the ashes, and these big men made an indelible contribution. Hello, Lord Aubrey. Tucker took off his gray hood and bowed. Along the way, Tucker had returned to a calm and unhurried state. Aubrey looked up and down at the apprentice wizard in front of him. The 32% accuracy of the sea level is neither high nor low. Aubrey doesn't care too much. What he cares about is the calmness and ease of the 16-year-old, 9th-level apprentice wizard when facing the 18th-level silver skeleton, as well as the skillful and exquisite witchcraft techniques. The same witchcraft. In the hands of some wizards, it is as ugly as a bear tied up with flowers. You think this is just the lower limit, but those guys can always make operations that refresh the lower limit. In the hands of other wizards, witchcraft, like art, can always bloom with incredible splendor. In Aubrey's opinion, this young wizard has the potential of the latter. In recent years, the Ashland has become more and more unstable, and the Evil Gout organization is ready to move. He also heard that some time ago, someone dug up the sealed door of the Demon King's tomb under the Lamore Tower city-state. Are those damn tomb robbers so rampant now? Aubrey has the idea of cultivating seeds. Although the apprentices under his command are all pretty good. Even the few undead wizard students who have gone out have made some reputations outside. But this does not delay him. He puts his eggs in several baskets. How is your accuracy? The undead wizard Aubrey asked. His voice was a little rough and dry, as if he had not spoken for a long time. My accuracy is quite accurate. Tucker said so. But this cannot reflect the power of his accuracy. So Tucker charged the witchcraft bullet tentacle with his right hand, and picked up a hand bone with his left hand. He threw the hand bone into the sky. The bullet tentacles in the right hand that were charged fired in a burst mode. Bang! 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 The hand bones danced in the air under the bursts of Tucker's bullet tentacles, and were full of rhythm and rhythm. Aubrey's face showed a trace of surprise. Bullet tentacle is a spell that simulates a musket. It has extremely high requirements for shooting skills. Normal wizards, learning bullet tentacles, are considered good if they can hit the target. However, the young wizard in front of him not only demonstrated a high level of attainment in the spell of bullet tentacles, but also was able to perfectly control the energy storage and release of the spell. He also had an almost artistic attainment in accuracy. In fact, at this time, Tucker only demonstrated a small part of his ability of accuracy. Soon, the bullets were used up and the hand bones fell. With a clang sound, the hand bones fell to their original positions. This made Aubrey look at Tucker with a higher opinion. 32% accuracy should be far from achieving this effect. Aubrey said. Yes, Lord Aubrey. Tucker nodded. But, before I awakened my extraordinary talent, I was born with amazing accuracy and a keen sense of smell in this area. My father often said that I would definitely become a hunter with excellent talent in the future. But in the end, I still embarked on the path of a wizard. Aubrey pondered slightly. Some kind of ability, engraved deep in the genes, which has never been manifested in the precise sequence. Or a hidden talent. Aubrey laughed while thinking. It didn't matter what it was. What mattered was that this child was very talented. This child had an extraordinary character, and he was very talented. And he was the only one who slipped through the net in the local underground nest area. This is simply a gift from nature. Such a thought emerged in Aubrey's mind. Chapter 13 Promoted to First Level Wizard. Lord Aubrey left. The instructions before leaving made Tucker feel a little dazed and unreal. Practice well here and complete the first level promotion. I will prepare a good gift for you. Obviously, Lord Aubrey had discovered that Tucker had prepared the promotion materials himself. And he had expectations for Tucker. I didn't expect to come into contact with the tower in this way. As a law-abiding citizen of the Lamore Tower city-state, Tucker knew very well that only by coming into contact with the tower can he obtain more powerful witchcraft and see those incredible supernatural treasures. And come into contact with the vast and mysterious supernatural world outside. Walking back and forth, Tucker was quite satisfied with a room on the second floor of the tower that Lord Aubrey arranged for him. It was just that this room had not been cleaned for some years and was covered with a thick layer of dust. Tucker began to clean up before promotion. One day later, on the second floor of the Tower of the Dead. In the cleaned house, Tucker, who had adjusted his state, ignited the flame under the crucible. The pure water in the crucible began to heat up. Tucker took out the materials he needed for his promotion one by one. A Howling Banshee Soul Crystal. A Source Energy Crystal of the Kobold Sacrifice. A Demon Wolf Heart Crystal. In addition, a bottle of first level fusion potion. Pour the fusion potion into the crucible, and after a while, the liquid began to become viscous. Gurgle. Gurgle. Bubbles gurgled and rolled. Tucker first took out the Source Energy Crystal and threw it into the crucible. As the Source Energy Crystal melted, Tucker took the Howling Banshee Soul Crystal in front of him. In the Howling Banshee Soul Crystal, the little sequence left by the Banshee was almost gone. I still like the way you looked when you rushed over wailing. Tucker smiled and threw the Soul Crystal into it. Finally, it was the Demon Wolf Heart. The elite heart contaminated by the Demon Wolf will. Tucker did not hesitate at all. Unlocking the seal scroll, the Demon Wolf Heart rolled directly into the crucible. As the Demon Wolf Heart melted in the potion, Tucker could hear the slight howl of the Demon Wolf. Not long after, a complete first-level wizard promotion potion was made by Tucker. After culling and bottling, Tucker's wizard or ability Touch Perception was quietly activated while holding the glass bottle. Touch Perception is a wizard ability that Tucker naturally awakened when he obtained the wizard sequence. Through the soul, limbs, source energy, etc., Tucker can deeply perceive and establish an order model. Wizard Promotion Potion contains the residual will of the Banshee, contains the curse of the dog-headed man sacrifice, contains the powerful sequence will of the elite magic wolf. Before, Tucker could only feel a certain degree of extraordinary characteristics by using touch perception. But now, with SS level precision, the extremely accurate potion information is perfectly presented in Tucker's perception. It's better not to know than to know. Tucker rubbed his eyebrows. This doesn't look like a wizard promotion potion. This is more like a farewell potion before the death of a guy who can't think straight. Take a deep breath. Tucker swallowed the wizard potion in one gulp. An indescribable feeling filled Tucker's taste buds. Then, a slight tingling sensation poured from the throat into the stomach, and then spread throughout the body. Soon, this feeling extended from the flesh to the soul, and then, it bloomed in Tucker's wizard sequence. The wizard seed that had long been rooted was nourished by the wizard potion and began to sprout and grow rapidly. A wizard tree. Swaying its trunk and branches, it bloomed quickly. And with the blooming of the wizard seed, Tucker's soul, flesh, and source energy are also rapidly transforming into a first-order wizard. And around the wizard tree, Tucker's extraordinary spells also present a certain sequence state. Bullet tentacles, bloodthorn vines, source scale shields, etc., are all presented in translucent spell forms. It seems like flowers and plants used for embellishment under the protection of a big tree. At this time, the long-awaited will of the magic wolf finally showed its fangs. The elite magic wolf with dark fur and blood-red eyes roared and rushed towards Tucker's newly grown wizard tree. Once the wizard tree was destroyed, Tucker's promotion would fail, or even die. As the elite magic wolf got closer and closer, The veins and trajectories around it became clearer and clearer, and they continued to entangle the magic wolf. The speed of the magic wolf was getting slower and slower. When the magic wolf advanced to a certain extent, the elite magic wolf was completely locked by the veins. No matter how it struggled, it could not get close to Tucker's wizard tree. The sequence ecology constructed by my wizard tree, under the effect of precision, the trajectory of the entire world converges in my hands. If you are eaten by me, you will only be digested. After saying that, Tucker manipulated the will of the magic wolf and threw it into the subtle wind vortex on the side. The wind vortex easily crushed the will of the magic wolf and then absorbed it. Wind Whirl is the sequence presentation of the spell Wind Run mastered by Tucker. With a blessing of the SS level, precision, extraordinary talent. Tucker's newly born wizard tree ecology is beyond imagination. When Tucker and the elite magic wolf were on the line, the wizard tree had completed its growth and transformation. With a wizard tree as the core and precision as the law of this world, Tucker's wizard ability and the spells he learned all showed their own sequence characteristics surrounding the wizard tree. A small wizard sequence ecology was officially formed. In the ordinary world, there is a natural ecological environment. In the extraordinary world, there is extraordinary ecology. The extraordinary ecology can also be seen as a combination of extraordinary power and life. This life can be seen as an individual life. It can also be seen as a biological group. It can also be seen as an extraordinary city-state. Even a world can also be seen as a life. A large extraordinary ecology can encompass a small extraordinary ecology. Some extraordinary ecosystems even overlap with each other. For extraordinary people like Tucker, their own wizard sequence tree, their own life, soul, and the many witchcrafts in the sequence, their own source energy, etc. The collection of all these is their own wizard sequence ecosystem. An ecosystem with vitality, extraordinary power, and the ability to maintain its own circulation. In the wizard tower, in the hut. Sitting cross-legged, Tucker slowly opened his eyes. The attribute panel then appeared in front of him. Extraordinary sequence, wizard, level 10. Extraordinary talent, precision, SS level 500%. Extraordinary witchcraft ability, sheep transformation, ability, level 1. Touch perception, ability, level 9. Bullet tentacle, level 9. Bloodthorn vine, level 9. Source scale shield, level 9. Fire oil, level 9. Wind run, level 9. I finally became a first-level wizard. As Tucker stretched his arms, the extraordinary aura of a first-level wizard emerged, compared with the weak apprentice wizard state before. Now, Tucker, a first-level wizard, has a heavy and solid aura, and is full of deterrence. The mental strength has increased by at least 60%. The strength of the source energy has also increased by 40%. Normal first-level life materials can improve the physical strength by about 30%. And what I absorbed was the heart of the powerful elite magic wolf, and the physical strength increased by about 80%. Tucker clenched his fist slightly and could feel the abundant power stirring in his muscles. Not bad. Tucker was very satisfied with this improvement. After feeling the basic improvement of being promoted to first-level wizard, Tucker looked at what he had gained after the promotion. Chapter 14, Transform into Sheep. Sheep Transformation. Tucker smiled slightly as he looked at the wizard ability he gained after being promoted to the first-level wizard, Sheep Transformation. Has my luck been too good recently? Not only did I meet a big shot from the Lamore Tower city-state in this undead skeleton passage, and get a safe and sheltered place. And when I was at the first level, I awakened to the sheep transformation technique. The sheep transformation technique is the wizard's signature magic and one of its core means. Many wizards want to awaken a sheep transformation technique and make it a wizard ability. However, most wizards can only pass on the sheep transformation technique as supernatural witchcraft by learning. There is still a big difference between the self-awakened wizard ability. The self-awakened wizard ability is the fruit grown on the wizard tree. It can continuously absorb the sequence characteristics as the wizard grows, and has the ability to grow automatically. The supernatural witchcraft learned after birth. It requires the wizard to constantly comprehend, practice, and train a lot before it can be improved. If the energy and time invested in supernatural witchcraft are invested in wizard ability, the wizard ability that can grow automatically obviously has a higher upper limit. Naturally, most wizards hope that the core witchcraft can self-awaken. At this time, The wizard's core means sheep transformation is a killer. When Tucker was promoted to the first level, it became Tucker's wizard ability early. This kind of luck, Tucker himself felt a little incredible. At present, I have accumulated a lot of source energy experience. The sequence has just been promoted to the first level. The wizard tree needs to be watered slowly and steadily to become more stable and powerful. The level will be increased by 2 levels first. Even if it is discovered, there is a reason to say that it is the source energy accumulated before. Then it's. Tucker's eyes narrowed slightly. My witchcraft and wizard ability. There are limits on my own level, but these witchcraft and abilities are not. Under the premise of sufficient source energy experience, all can be upgraded to level 19. Especially the sheep transformation, as one of the core abilities of wizards, it has huge development potential. Start adding points. Open the attribute panel. Tucker first upgraded his wizard level from level 10 to level 12. Next, it was the sheep transformation. The sheep transformation, as the core witchcraft of wizards, is still very difficult to upgrade. But in front of the system, everything becomes very simple. The level 1 sheep transformation was upgraded to level 19 by Tucker. Later, only a certain degree of practice is needed to master it proficiently or even deeply. Bullet tentacles can perfectly exert precision, and they are first increased to level 15. Touch perception, as another wizard ability of mine, is also increased to level 15. Bloodthorn vines are also quite good, level 15. After adding here, Tucker felt that his source energy experience was about to bottom out. Looking at several other witchcrafts that could not effectively exert the characteristics of precision, Tucker stopped adding points. The development and exploration of the sheep transformation requires source energy experience. Subsequent level upgrades also require source energy experience. Save some experience, just in case. Supernatural sequence, wizard, level 12. Supernatural talent, precision, SS level 500%. Supernatural witchcraft ability, sheep transformation, ability, level 19. Touch perception, ability, level 15. Bullet tentacles, level 15. Bloodthorn vine, level 15. Source scale shield, level 9. Kerosene, level 9. Wind sprint, level 9. After examining his own level, witchcraft, and abilities, Tucker stood up and opened the window. The air mixed with a little darkness and the smell of death poured into the room. The source energy flowed quietly and gathered at the undead wizard tower. In the distance, there were several hills of bones piled on the ground, and there were rat skeletons rolling inside looking for food. A newly born undead skeleton was discovered by the rat skeleton. The rat skeletons knocked the bones with their tailbones, making a sound, and soon more than a dozen rat skeletons gathered over. The war between the rat skeletons and the newly born undead skeletons began. Huh? Tucker breathed in the fresh air, enjoying the leisure time after being promoted to a formal wizard. From an apprentice wizard to first level wizard, the level has been raised to level 12, and the transformation in all aspects is amazing. Especially my witchcraft and ability level have been greatly improved. You know, many first level peak wizards only have spells of level 10. Wait until you master the sheep transformation technique. Almost, you can go outside. The city-state of Lamore Tower is a huge hunting ground in itself. Since those local gangs and members of the Evil Gout organization act as hunters. If they can do it, so can Tucker. Underground Undead Tower. Under the Hill of Bones. In the dim light of the lantern. Looking at the orange cat-sized hybrid of a sheep and a mouse under his feet. Tucker, holding the lantern, rubbed his brows. The last step of the sheep transformation technique, transformation, always feels a little bit lacking. It has changed, but not completely. In the past 2 days, Tucker has been practicing his core wizard spell sheep transformation. Even the self-awakened wizard or ability requires a certain amount of practice to master. Tucker, who has already upgraded the sheep transformation to level 19, and Tucker, who has the SS level precision talent, is rapidly accelerating this process. Envelop the opponent with a witchcraft framework, penetrate into the opponent's life form, suppress the opponent's sequence and life force, and then complete the change in form. Turn the opponent into a sheep. This is the whole process of the sheep transformation. SS level, precision, is highly compatible with the sheep transformation. There is no problem in enveloping and locking. Insight into the veins and trajectories makes it easy for Tucker to complete the penetration. Suppression, After the coupling of the complete trajectory and veins of penetration, Tucker can also do it easily. But in the last step of transforming into sheep, Tucker is a little rough. Take the mixture of sheep and mouse in front of him. Tucker's last step of transformation is always a little bit lacking. It is always not so much like a sheep. Immediately, Tucker waved his hand and cancelled the sheep transformation. Instantly, the sheep-rat hybrid was restored to a rat skeleton. The angry rat used its tailbone to knock on the surrounding skeletons, trying to attract its companions to come and besiege this big guy. Stop knocking. I've already killed all those who can come. Tucker kicked the rat skeleton away. At the same time, he performed the sheep transformation again. With a clang sound, a lamb fell to the ground. BAA. In Tucker's precise vision, this really is a standard sheep. Tucker raised his eyebrows. I'm starting to feel it. The powerful precision quickly grasped this feeling of context. Continue. Over and over again. Tucker kept switching the skeleton rat between rat skeleton and sheep. Until, the life frame of the rat skeleton, which was not strong to begin with, completely collapsed. With the collapse of the life frame, the bones of the rat skeleton quickly cracked, disintegrated, and turned into powder. At this time, Tucker gradually mastered the puzzle of transformation, the last step of the sheep transformation technique. Continuously repeating this process is the repeated twisting and folding of life forms and extraordinary sequences. It's okay if the number of times is small, but if the number of times is large, it will collapse directly. Glancing at the rat skeleton whose bones had turned into powder, Tucker had a new understanding of the sheep transformation technique. In addition, Tucker rubbed his fingers. My precision has also begun to show its effect in my sense of smell. As long as a trace of the right feeling emerges, I will be able to accurately grasp the veins and trajectories. This SS-level extraordinary talent is becoming more and more unscientific. Feeling that most of the source energy had been consumed, Tucker ended this wave of spell practice and walked towards the Tower of the Undead. The tower itself is a gathering place for source energy. The extraordinary people built the tower to gather source energy. In the tower, the extraordinary people can improve their level and strength faster. In the past few days, Tucker has been able to feel the effect of restoring source energy in the source energy tower. When the source energy is abundant, Tucker practices the sheep transformation. When the source energy is almost consumed, when recovering in the tower, Tucker comprehends and understands the sheep transformation. When Tucker just came to the Tower of the Undead, Gaga, the silence was broken. An undead raven landed on the railing built of bones. Compared with those undead ravens that lack wings and legs, the undead raven in front of him has a more complete shape and a stronger breath of the undead. Tucker immediately bowed to the undead raven. Lord Aubrey. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 15. Level 8. With normal precise vision, Tucker could clearly see the exact level of this undead raven at a glance. Before that, he needed to observe and feel it carefully. With a promotion of rank, the mastery of talent will become more and more proficient. Only at a high level can the characteristics of extraordinary talent be better exerted. Tucker had a slight understanding in his heart. Aubrey's voice rang out from the undead raven. It was promoted so quickly. The black pupils of the undead raven examined Tucker. Level 12, much better than I thought. Follow the raven to my place. Yes, Lord Aubrey. Tucker nodded in response. The undead raven guided all the way in front. Following the undead raven, climb up the steps of the undead tower. Walking through the tower, Tucker could feel and clearly see the surrounding source energy being gathered by the tower. And the core of the gathering is the top of the tower. There is a tower source pool that gathers source energy. There is a steam furnace constructed by alchemical steel. Based on the extraordinary and with the sequence as the framework, the basic source energy is ignited. The furnace burns, the steam roars, and the source energy stream is released. Disperse, darkness, cold, distortion, twist. Construct a supernormal steam ecology suitable for human survival. As humans enter the extraordinary steam era, the birth of the steam core, a sequence core produced by steam industry and extraordinary ecology. Let humans have the ability to change the world. At the same time, It also gives humans the confidence to fight against a foreign ecological invasion. Until Tucker pushed open a stone door pecked by the undead raven. The destination was reached. Behind the door was a slightly quiet tower space. Under the illumination of the huge magic chandelier on the top, bookshelves were lined up in front of Tucker. Not only were there a large number of books stacked on them, but there were also some scrolls with sealing power. At this time, the undead wizard Aubrey was searching for something in the depths of the bookshelf. "You have a good talent." Aubrey's voice came from the depths of the bookshelf. "It's just a talent that is biased towards combat. Given your unparalleled talent for accuracy, I'm going to look for a pretty good shooting magic. I clearly remember that it was placed here, but I can't find it no matter how hard I try." The sound of flipping through books rang out. At this time, when he heard that the reward from the necromancer Aubrey was a shooting magic, Tucker breathed a sigh of relief. Tucker was really afraid that Lord Aubrey would say, "You have a very good talent, so I'll reward you with a necromancer." Then Tucker would really be unable to hold back. "Are you worried that I will change your sequence to a necromancer?" Aubrey was looking for this thing while Tucker chatted with him. "Oh, I am worried about this." Tucker followed the voice and responded at the same time. "I can tell at a glance who is suitable for a necromancer and who is not. You are not the material for a necromancer. It is unknown whether Lord Aubrey's words are a compliment or slander. Well, it seems to be this one." Patting the dust off a sealed oil paper, Aubrey on the moving staircase handed something over. Tucker took it, opened it and took a look, and was stunned. "Is this witchcraft serious? I saw the title of this sealed ancient witchcraft book. It was the magic canon of the human world. You call this shooting witchcraft? This name, it's not normal." Just when Tucker was still a little confused, Aubrey's voice sounded again. "Well, it seems that I took the wrong one. This is the witchcraft for you." A brand new scroll wrapped in sealed oil paper was handed to Tucker. "Shaping Light Spear, this is the powerful witchcraft that Aubrey prepared for Tucker. Shaping Light Spear. Advanced Witchcraft. Well, in today's STEAM age, the correct name is 2-star witchcraft. As a 2-star witchcraft, it has disadvantages such as long casting time and huge source energy consumption. But as a 2-star witchcraft, its advantages can completely cover up its disadvantages. That is, it is extremely powerful. The sacred power of light of Spear of Shaping Light naturally restrains darkness, and at the same time has extremely strong destructive power." In the corner of the scrolled book collection warehouse of the high tower, Tucker, who was sitting cross-legged, exhaled slowly. Using the wizard or ability touch perception, he completed the absorption of a witchcraft inheritance. Tucker has already felt the power of this Spear of Shaping Light that contains extremely strong light power. Just completing the inheritance of Spear of Shaping Light, the light power containing the witchcraft sequence has already appeared in Tucker's wizard tree ecology. The entire wizard tree ecology presents a slight sacred breath. 2-star spell. And it's a light witchcraft. What's even more strange is that this was given to me by a senior undead wizard. Tucker restrained his curiosity and slowly opened his eyes. The Spear of Shaping Light can not only shoot, but also be held in the hand as a huge light stick, well, even slightly change its form. It is not impossible to use it as a small light source or a natural lantern. With a natural light lantern, there is no need to borrow lanterns from Old Combe all the time. Facing such a powerful witchcraft, Tucker was very down to earth and combined it with the details of his life. For Tucker, witchcraft, it never needs to be grand and high-end. Witchcraft that can be used continuously in life is good witchcraft. For example, the sheep transformation technique. It is said that the sheep transformation technique, if practiced to a high enough level, can really turn other creatures into sheep at the level of life form. Tucker's inheritance was completed. The necromancer Aubrey also finished tidying up the bookshelf and came over. "Lord Aubrey." Tucker bowed. "Don't be shy, just sit down." Coming to the fireplace, Aubrey touched his sleeves and then sprinkled it into the fireplace. "Hoo-la!" The green flames rose up. Tucker vaguely saw that there were several little undead flame elves jumping inside. Soon, the green flames turned into red flames. The warmth gradually rose. "You have no safe residence, no companions to protect you, and you don't even have a super storage bracelet. Many things are still packed in a bag. It can be seen that the environment in the underground nest area is very bad." Looking at Tucker, Aubrey explained gently. "But even in such an environment, you still have amazing strength. If you train well, I think you should be able to show more and more amazing talents and potential. You can use this place as a shelter and a place for training. Aubrey's tone began to ease. But in exchange, you must complete the basic wizard learning within 3 ash cycles, that is, within 3 months. Don't worry, you have the ability of touch perception, and learning is a very simple thing for you. Aubrey smiled when he said this. If it weren't for the fact that Tucker had used this wizard ability of touch perception when he inherited and learned Spear of Shaping Light just now, he didn't know Tucker actually had such a peculiar learning talent. Top-level learning perception talent, touch perception. The core method of wizards, sheep transformation. This young wizard named Tucker is not only talented, but also very lucky. At the same time, I won't interfere with your actions. If you get good things outside, I can exchange with you. And it's a fair exchange. If you hunt those evil god organizations, members of the Dark Sun Church, or even hunt the evil god genius with a level extraordinary talent, and even get a steam collar, I can even prepare other materials for you to help you become a steam wizard. Aubrey looked at Tucker calmly. Tucker, who was sitting on the sofa, twitched his eyes. Those calm eyes seemed to be able to peek into people's hearts. Chapter 16, A-Level Evil Genius. Thank you, Lord Aubrey. Tucker stood up and expressed his most sincere gratitude. The power of the Evil God organization is amazing. Being able to get the protection of a powerful figure who controls the tower. Tucker's safety is undoubtedly guaranteed. With the support of this big man. Then, Tucker has enough confidence to complete his plan. Even if he needs to take the blame at some time, someone can help him carry it. Tucker spoke while thinking. I don't know much about the Dark Sun Church. I will prepare all the information in this regard for you. Aubrey nodded. What else? Aubrey continued to ask. Well, that's enough. Tucker thought about it and responded like this. This time, Aubrey smiled a little. Tucker. This 16-year-old boy was able to practice to level 9 in the underground nest area of the Lamore Tower city-state by himself, and he also accumulated a lot of source energy and whose skills were also very powerful. He also raised promotion materials and completed the advancement. There is no doubt that this boy is quite comfortable in the underground nest area. If it weren't for the Evil God organization rampaging here, I'm afraid that this boy will soon become a local snake in the underground nest area and even in the underground street. For Tucker, who has his own way of survival, Aubrey obviously has no idea of binding him in the tower. After all, several of his apprentices died when they were out honing and exploring. If they have the experience of Tucker, even only need half, then their chances of survival will be much higher. Maybe Tucker's way will be a bit wild, but it is quite useful. For Tucker's training, Aubrey knows very well what to do. Supplement him with a basic knowledge of wizards and let him develop freely. Provide a certain amount of shelter for yourself, which is enough. 2 hours later, Tucker, who had a lot of chats with Lord Aubrey, bringing a lot of printed pamphlets, steam newspapers and other information, returned to his small room on the 2nd floor of the basement. I have to say that big shots are big shots. His understanding of source energy, witchcraft, and even supernatural ecology are far beyond my understanding. Especially, the detailed interpretation of the sheep transformation spell, bullet tentacles, and other spells. Although I don't understand some parts, I am deeply shocked. After returning, Tucker immediately sat cross-legged in the corner of his room. He began to digest and absorb Lord Aubrey's interpretation of sequence, witchcraft, source energy, etc. The previous Tucker himself had the wizard ability of touch perception. Naturally, he was more studious. And Tucker, who came through, inherited all of this. In addition, the level of touch perception was raised, and Tucker's learning ability, understanding and digestion ability increased sharply. About an hour later, Tucker digested Lord Aubrey's explanation of supernatural knowledge. My understanding has improved a lot. After a careful experience, Tucker nodded with satisfaction. Coming to the desk and borrowing the magic crystal lamp in the room, Tucker began to check the information about the Dark Sun Church. The Dark Sun Church. The #1 evil god church in the Ashland. They believe in the great, dark sun. Wandering in the darkness and shadows of the Ashland. They preach the doomsday theory of the world's fall. The world is about to sink into eternal darkness, and the dark sun will rise in the sky to support a new world for mankind. Many city-states in the Ashland have completely fallen into the teachings of the Dark Sun Church and have completely become its believers, and then the city-states have been destroyed. Even now, deep in the Ashland, there are still a large number of evil city-states ruled by the Dark Sun Church. This time, the Dark Sun Church dared to be so unscrupulous in the Lamore Tower city-state. If you say that there are not enough believers in the Lamore city-state, Tucker will definitely not believe it. Even running to someone's house, dragging someone out and killing them, this extremely impolite thing. It may be done by those fanatical believers. Read all these pamphlets, newspaper information, and many other contents. Tucker, who was sitting at the desk, stood up, stretched, and then opened the window. The fresh air outside, which contained the breath of death, quickly cleared Tucker's mind. Compared to what the Church of the Evil God did, these breaths of death, the gray fog of the undead, seemed so cute. Tucker, rubbing his brows, focused on the genius of the Dark Sun Church. That guy was the starting point of the recent chaos and turmoil in the Lamore Tower city-state. It is suspected that he is a genius with an A-level extraordinary talent. It is precisely because he has an A-level extraordinary talent that he has inherited a powerful sequence of foreign wizards. And he needs to use a steam core to complete the steam upgrade. He has a very high talent and a powerful sequence. If he completes the steam upgrade, he will probably take off on the spot. Tucker exhaled lightly. A-level extraordinary talent? Interesting. It doesn't matter whether it's a steam core or not. The main thing is that I want to contribute to the safety of the Lamore Tower city-state. He took out a small ash clock from the inner pocket of the wizard robe. I saw that the tiny pointer had crossed the scale lines that symbolize the gray night and gray day. And it had moved a small grid in the gray day area. Although I missed the sunrise of the ash day this time. But, the gray day is finally here. The surface should be lively now. It won't be too late to go out after you master the sheep transformation technique and the spear of shaping light. Ashland. The gray day and gray night together take about a month. Most of the time, the two take up half of each other, about 15 days each. Only at certain times, the gray day or the gray night will move closer to 20 days, compressing the time of the other's appearance. At this time, the huge ash day, on the east side, completely revealed its entire outline. The main body of the ash day is deep and dark, like a huge black hole. Around the ash day, the ash halo blooms with red light. The ash day lights up the ashland. But it also lights up a bloody world. Just then, a particularly strong bloodlight fell on Tucker, who had just crawled out of the tomb passage. He looked around and confirmed that no one was nearby. Tucker patted the dust off his body, put on a gray hood, and walked towards the underground nest area. At this time, on the main road of the Lamore city-state, the teams of adventurers, mercenaries, and merchants formed a long line from a distance. They came from the St. Land extraordinary city-state hundreds of kilometers away. It is the heart of the Dark Curtain province. As the St. Land extraordinary city-state with steam train tracks, it is extremely prosperous. It is said that when the steam mechanical furnace is running at full power to resist the ash's dark tide, the roar and roar can be heard dozens of kilometers away. The Lamore Tower city-state deep in the wilderness is the bridgehead for St. Land adventurers, mercenaries, and merchants. With the arrival of a large number of adventurers, mercenaries, and merchants, Lamore, a high tower city-state that had been sleeping in darkness for half a month, officially woke up. Chapter 17 Extraordinary Storage Bracelet. Griffin Crypt Tavern. A familiar place, a familiar smell. And it was especially lively. The adventurers who had been silent in the extraordinary city-state of St. Land for half a month came to Lamore to restart their adventure, and they were full of energy. Oh, that's the taste. I like it so much. St. Land's Verigi always lacks something, but Lamore's Verigi tastes better. An adventurer who was shaking a wooden wine glass half the size of his head cheered drunkenly. Not far away from him, another adventurer happily told about their gains in the last ash cycle. Last time, our team went to the underground castle and captured the vampire, who was transported to St. Land. At the auction, the noble gentleman offered a high price of 500 magic gold. That was definitely the most profitable deal I've ever made. It seems that the female vampire must be very beautiful. Someone laughed. No, no. The adventurer corrected himself after drinking the Verigi in the cup in one gulp. That's a male vampire. Haha. In the tavern, the adventurers burst into laughter. Then someone shouted. Chris, that noble lord actually has the same hobby as you. Damn. The adventurer named Chris, who was exposed in public, roared angrily. The adventurers shared all kinds of interesting stories. Among them, there were a lot of news about the outside world. This is also a channel for Lamore to contact the outside world. In the corner of the tavern, Tucker was enjoying a large portion of black corned beef bread soup. In the Undead Tower, there is also food given by Lord Aubrey. But most of it is reserve food. It is enough to fill the stomach, and it has nothing to do with deliciousness. I need an extraordinary bracelet. This is one of Tucker's goals. First, it can reserve enough food for Tucker's favorite food in the future Grey Night period. Second, Tucker doesn't want to kill the leader of a gang next, and then run away with the other party's gold coin box. Although, the enemy is likely to have an extraordinary storage bracelet. But those guys are probably connected to the Evil God organization. It's too easy to be found if you use their stuff directly. Divination, backtracking, trace tracking, etc. In the extraordinary world, there are too many ways to find people by following items. In addition, Tucker was not idle while eating. The breath of the first-level wizard did not converge. But no one paid attention. The hunting of the Dark Sun Church seems to have been restrained a lot after the rise of the Ash Day. At least, they dare not hunt openly. Go to Old Calm first and prepare the things that should be prepared. Now it's the Ash Day, and I should also strike hard. An hour later. Underground Street, Obsidian Material Store. You are not dead. When he saw that it was Tucker sitting opposite him, Old Calm screamed. Ahem. I mean, you are really talented. You can even absorb and digest the contaminated elite materials. Now there are not many people like you who are not afraid of death. Ahem, brave. Old Calm looked Tucker up and down, and said in amazement. How many people are eager to be promoted to the first level? But everyone knows that it is too dangerous. Just digesting the materials is a big problem. After all, this is the land of ashes. Many materials look clean, but in fact, they are all more or less contaminated. If you are not careful, you will fail. Some time ago, I heard that a level 9 knight failed to be promoted and had a problem with his brain. He firmly believed that he was a brave blood-bone bull. After breaking through 3 door panels in succession, he was caught and tied up. Poor guy, before he died, he was still shouting that he was hungry and wanted to eat grass. At this point, Old Calm smiled. You suppressed the elite magic wolf materials and were promoted to the first level. Obviously, you have the potential to be promoted to the second level. Do you want to prepare the second level materials? Although there is still a long time to reach the second level, it does not prevent you from preparing the second level materials. It just so happens that I have a very good second level human-faced stone snake ghost soul crystal here, which is a soul material close to elite quality. Only 40 magic gold. Tucker's eyes twitched. This damned old bastard actually wanted to sell back the materials that he had sold to him right in front of him. It seems that the number of lanterns I took from you is not enough. Tucker said unhappily. Old Calm grinned, revealing his inlaid gold teeth. I need a storage bracelet. Tucker stated his purpose. Storage bracelets, the price of that thing is not cheap. Old Calm, who felt that he had come to a big deal, laughed. Many first-level extraordinary people may not be able to afford it. 50 magic gold, a storage bracelet of standard unit size. Tucker simply quoted his price. The price of the normal extraordinary storage bracelet is around 40 magic gold. The price Tucker quoted is much higher than the market price. Before Old Calm's smile formed on his face, Tucker had already added a sentence. Prepayment of 10 magic gold, and the subsequent payment will be paid in 2 days. Pay in 2 days? Old Calm keenly sensed something. This kid is going to start hunting. He knew Tucker's methods. When he was still an apprentice wizard, this kid was not afraid of ordinary first-level extraordinary people. What's more, now that this kid has eaten the heart of an elite magic wolf and has been promoted to first-level wizard, Tucker didn't say much, and Old Calm didn't ask much. The transaction was reached between the two of them. Leaving Old Calm's shop, Tucker, who had restrained his wizard aura, covered his face in the hidden part of his hood and walked silently in the underground street. If it was the Grey Night period, perhaps someone would notice Tucker. But now it is the Grey Day. There are quite a few people on the streets of the underground street. No one cares about Tucker at all. It's about the size of a drawer space. Tucker fumbled with the extraordinary storage bracelet on his left hand. It's enough to hold a lot of valuables. And the effect is more concealed. More importantly, the items are stored in the storage bracelet, and the weight problem will not affect the battle. Now, my physical strength is extremely abundant, and I need such a storage bracelet. fumbling with a belt bag under the wizard robe. "It's time for you to retire," Tucker said secretly. As he walked forward, Tucker put the resources in his belt bag into the storage bracelet and memorized the location accurately. When needed, Tucker can take it out at any time. The next battle will encounter a lot of resistance. Tucker naturally needs to be prepared in advance. About half an hour later, in the underground street, a double-opening red rock door appeared in front of Tucker. The location of the hunter gang where Nelson, who hunted Tucker before, was located. And here, if Tucker guessed correctly, it is most likely a small base of the evil god organization Dark Sun Church. Chapter 18: Alchemist and Sheep. Click, click. The red rock gate slowly opened. The alchemist Eden Gladstone, wearing a black robe, with a turbid breath and a gloomy and tired face, walked out. The two knights guarding the gate saw the newcomer and showed a little fear on their faces. They shrank their necks and took 2 steps back. Eden Gladstone, who ignored this scene, walked straight to the nearest exit of the underground street. In this round of Grey Knight period, Eden refined a lot of potions and a small amount of extraordinary equipment. Even as a gang organization, it also needs a source of income. At the same time, the several young female students from a certain college in St. Lander who were trapped in the last round of Grey Days are also good materials for this round of blood sacrifice. Of course, before the blood sacrifice, Eden Gladstone did not forget to enjoy the young and energetic girl's body. In the tower, he was a corner man who no one cared about. But, in the Hunters Guild, he was the bloody alchemist Eden Gladstone, a terrifying existence. Every time a blood sacrifice was performed, the shrill screams of those young students echoed in the depths of his heart. He felt an indescribable pleasure. Is there anything more enjoyable than falling into darkness and indulging in wantonness? The silent underground corridor seemed to be much dimmer than before. Eden Gladstone didn't care too much. Source energy poured into the magic ring staff on his wrist, and a small fire elf the size of a fist jumped out, leading the way for Eden Gladstone in front. Whoosh, whoosh, suddenly, 2 blood-colored vines shot out from the top of the passage. Buzz, buzz, thick and powerful vines. But they were blocked by the natural shield of Eden Gladstone's alchemy robe. As an alchemist, explosions are daily operations. An alchemy robe that can gather source energy and form a shield is a must-have option. The blocked vines quickly spread their bodies and turned into pythons, winding towards Eden Gladstone. Eden Gladstone felt the tenacious force of oppression and knew that he had met a tough guy. He suddenly clasped his hands together. The fire crackled. Sparks burst from Eden Gladstone's body, and in the blink of an eye, they turned into a ball of gorgeous fireworks, and then the flames shot up into the sky. The vines lasted for 2 or 3 breaths before they were quickly ignited by the flames. Your witchcraft is not strong enough, young man. Deep in the underground tunnel, the outline of the shadow was vaguely visible. Eden Gladstone spread his perception into the extraordinary storage bracelet. The several specially refined alchemical bombs were all within reach. Explosions are not only daily, but also an important means for him to deal with enemies. After all, alchemists do not have as many means as wizards. Since the means are not enough, then use props to make up for it. Buzz, Eden Gladstone was on guard. A wisp of golden sacred breath surged in the depths of the shadow. Not good. Eden Gladstone's heart was shocked. After a long period of sacrifice, he was exposed to the dark sun power from a foreign land. The ecology of his alchemical tree had long been like this land of ashes, gradually sinking into darkness. Sinking into darkness was not a problem. But the problem was that he had not had time to form a dark ecology after sinking into darkness. If the sacred power fell on him, it would definitely cause devastating damage to him. Without any hesitation, Eden Gladstone threw the alchemical bombs in the storage bracelet one after another. However, when the alchemical bombs just flew and were still very close to him, an incredible scene happened. Boom, boom, boom. Alchemical bombs, one after another, exploded violently. The terrifying airwaves and the fragments of the explosion knocked Eden Gladstone to the ground. The shield of the alchemical robe was also shattered in the explosion. Eden Gladstone felt that his bones were about to fall apart. How could it be? How could those alchemical bombs explode so quickly? Eden Gladstone, whose ears were ringing, seemed to hear the sound of gunfire. Use shooting spells to blow up the bombs. And in such a dark environment? This is absolutely impossible. If the opponent is a mid-level wizard above level 40, Eden Gladstone believes that he can do it. But that guy is just a low-level wizard, and his level will not even exceed level 25. Run. The seriously injured Eden Gladstone struggled to stand up. But the next moment, he staggered and fell. He raised his hands and found that one of his hands was long and the other was short. The short one had turned into thick and curly white wool, a sheep leg. BAA. Eden Gladstone, who opened his mouth to speak, made a BAA sheep sound. At the same time that the uncontrollable fear bloomed in his heart. Eden Gladstone had already turned into a white sheep in the Hegland Plateau Mountains. BAA. The sheep's cry continued to echo in the passage. At this time, Eden Gladstone saw the instigator. That was a wizard with fair and clean skin who looked very young. Although you are a second-level alchemist, your skills are much weaker than I thought. When I interrogated Nelson, that guy was full of fear of you. For this, I have prepared a lot of methods. I didn't expect that you would turn into a sheep before I even tried. The bright smile on the young wizard's face was as bad as Eden Gladstone's heart was at this moment. Me. Eden Gladstone tried his best to gain control of this sheep body. After all, sheep are much faster than humans. If possible, he even wanted to give the young wizard in front of him a hard collision, knock him to the ground, and then run away. However, the restraint of the young wizard's sheep transformation was more severe than he imagined. No matter how he struggled, the sheep behaved more and more like a real sheep. Even the desire for grass in the sheep made him look at a bunch of weeds in the corner frequently. Damn bastard. Meh. Although Tucker didn't speak sheep language, he could guess most of it. In order to deal with the leader of the hunter gang and the 3 core figures under their command, Tucker made a lot of plans and preparations. Eden Gladstone. A bloody and extremely cruel alchemist. He has a large number of alchemical methods and is particularly good at explosions. Tucker's original plan was to first break the shield of the opponent's alchemical robe. Then he would seriously injure the opponent with shooting, and finally use the sheep transformation to capture the opponent. But the alchemical bomb thrown by the opponent gave Tucker an assist from Porzingis. At the same time, the effect of the sheep transformation was better than Tucker expected. SS level, precision. Like a sharp blade, it perfectly cuts in along the precise veins, helping Tucker's sheep transformation to complete the most important infiltration and suppression. The 19th level sheep transformation completed an unscientific sheep transformation against the 26th level Eden Gladstone. And it was a perfect sheep transformation. An adventurer will come to investigate soon. Let's get out of here first. Tucker looked around and took out the rope he had prepared long ago. Eden Gladstone wanted to resist, but his sheep instinct drove him to be led by Tucker. Before the adventurer could investigate here, Tucker had already taken Eden Gladstone and disappeared into the depths of the dark passage. Chapter 19: A Rich Harvest. Can the sheep transformation technique really turn a person into a sheep forever? This is the question Tucker asked Lord Aubrey. How big do you think the difference between a person and a sheep is? Aubrey asked instead of answering. It shouldn't be that big. Yes, you have a keen sense of smell. A shepherd friend of mine works as a prison warden in a prison in the distant Hegland Plateau Mountains. There is not enough human food there. But the vegetation is lush, especially the grass is plentiful. Every prisoner sent there will become a prison sheep and be driven to the pasture. Most prisons are held in cells. And the bodies of sheep there are cages. Over time, the self-consciousness of some prisoners will gradually be erased and they will become a sheep. Can a person become a sheep? That depends on whether he can preserve his humanity. If you lose yourself in the sheep cage, it doesn't matter whether you are a human or a sheep. Deep in the underground cave, the bonfire was burning. Eden Gladstone's sheep with a rope around his neck was eating grass on the side. The other end of the rope was in Tucker's hand. Touching the senses, using the rope as a vein, connected the two together. Sure enough, Eden Gladstone has been contaminated by the dark sun and is in the process of sinking and transformation. So, my sheep transformation can effectively turn this guy into a sheep. Of course, even if this guy is not contaminated, he will also be turned into a sheep by me, but it is a little more difficult and will not easily form a closed loop of witchcraft. Precision is indeed more suitable for sheep transformation. Especially, as the SS level, precision, S-cut and feature continues to appear. My spells can also reflect incredible features in deep layers such as source energy, sequence, vein, trajectory, etc. After the battle, summarize. This is also one of the reasons why Tucker continues to become stronger. Walk forward. Tucker groped Eden Gladstone's neck for a moment. Then he pulled it suddenly. With a crash, a sheepskin, no, an alchemical robe was pulled off by Tucker. At the same time, the wool on his body was obviously thinner. BAA. Eden Gladstone immediately bleated angrily at Tucker. Tucker held up this second-level alchemical robe that could spontaneously gather source energy to form a shield. He found that there were many slightly damaged places on it. Just now, the alchemical bomb exploded, and many bomb fragments were blocked by this alchemical robe. It's just the thickness of an ordinary wizard robe, which is comparable to a bulletproof vest. This second-level extraordinary robe is amazing. Combined with my chainmail, it highlights one word: perfect. At this time, through the perception of touch, Tucker's guess was indeed proved. This second-level alchemical robe is indeed incredibly strong. It is said that alchemists must have a top-level alchemical robe, so that they will not be blown to death. Tucker looked at Eden Gladstone. It seems that you have invested a lot of materials and energy in this alchemy robe. It's a good thing, but it's mine now. Me. Eden Gladstone the sheep can only be helpless and crazy. Don't worry. Tucker smiled softly. He put away the second-level alchemy robe. Tucker picked up Eden Gladstone's front leg of the sheep and gently pulled it down. The second-level magic ring staff fell off. Entering the STEAM Extraordinary era. The magic wand and magic staff of the earlier era have been replaced by the current ring staff in the form of bracelets. Tucker's red flame bracelet is Tucker's witchcraft ring staff. Then, Eden Gladstone's extraordinary storage bracelet was also taken out by Tucker. And not one, but two. I have never fought such a rich war. At this time, such a sentence emerged in Tucker's mind. At this time, the two extraordinary storage bracelets that Tucker obtained were worth 80 magic gold. Not to mention, there are more than 100 magic golds in the hidden storage bracelet, as well as some alchemical materials that Tucker is not very clear about. Add to that other materials, robes, ring staffs, etc. The income of several hundred magic golds is inevitable. No wonder those extraordinary people like to play the role of hunters to hunt. As expected, a man cannot get rich without unexpected wealth, and a horse cannot get fat without night grass. Seeing that his extraordinary storage bracelet, which was hidden so deeply, was searched out by Tucker, Eden Gladstone has completely fallen into despair. Eden Gladstone knows very well that some powerful sheep-changing spells, when changing into sheep, form a closed loop of witchcraft. Then, as long as the caster does not remove the witchcraft, the closed loop of witchcraft will permanently bind people to sheep. Even as time goes by, humanity disappears, and they completely become a real sheep. Even some guys who have no humanity and are dark in their hearts will specifically capture humans and turn them into sheep. Let shepherds graze, so as to produce wool, sheepskin, and even mutton. Me. Eden Gladstone's voice trembled a little. Tucker fumbled with the extraordinary storage bracelet and tilted his head to look at Eden Gladstone. When you sent those innocent students and residents to the altar to complete the blood sacrifice, did you ever think that you would become a sheep one day? The firelight reflected on Tucker's face, and it was hard to tell whether Tucker was sneering or talking seriously about the facts. But in Eden Gladstone's eyes, it was a demon jumping on Tucker's face. You have two choices. The first choice is to send you to your teacher. Don't doubt me, I have the ability to contact your teacher and explain your deeds to him. I think you must be very good on the balcony, presenting the appearance of planting flowers. And Eden Gladstone's body has begun to tremble violently. His teacher, the exotic vegetation alchemist, who is known as the nightmare of the Lamore Tower city-state. It is said that he can construct multiple small extraordinary ecosystems within the scope of the human body, such as blood and flesh ecology, skeleton ecology, decay ecology, parasitic ecology, etc. He would rather die than fall into the hands of that teacher. Second, answer my question. I can guarantee that there won't be too much torture and pain in your sheep life. Compared with the palpitating fear and torture, the latter situation is barely acceptable. In the city-state of Lamore Tower, this weird place where evil gods are rampant, foreign ecology invades, and justice has left. Becoming a sheep may be a good ending. Snap. Tucker slapped Eden Gladstone's sheep on the cheek. Damn, bastard. Eden Gladstone cursed in anger and fear, and found that he was no longer bleeding, and he regained the human language. The more this happened, the more frightened Eden Gladstone was. When he transforms into a sheep, he can also release the ability to communicate in language. Has his sheep transforming skills reached such an incredible level? He is still so young. Where is Bashamu? Tucker's question interrupted Eden Gladstone's thoughts. Bashamu, the leader of the hunter gang. Tucker's target of this trip. Deep in the Stronghold passage. Is it the stronghold you just came out of? Yes. Tell me all the information you have about the Dark Sun Church step by step. Immediately, Tucker began to ask many questions about the situation in that stronghold. With powerful precision, he used touch perception to penetrate Eden Gladstone's whole body. Tucker could capture any slight lie. Then, it was roasting the whole sheep. After 2 consecutive times, facing Eden Gladstone with his wool burnt all over his body, Tucker lazily warned, "There won't be a third chance. You can lie as much as you want. See if I dare to put you on the fire and roast you whole." Eden Gladstone didn't know whether he dared to roast the whole lamb. But Eden Gladstone knew. The guy in front of him was a devil in human skin. What he said just now was just ambiguous, but he was kicked into the fire by this guy. Eden Gladstone tried his best to search the memory in his mind and make sure to give Tucker the accurate answer. You can lie to people. But when facing the devil, Eden Gladstone would rather be an honest man. Chapter 20 Gang Leader, Bashamu. More than an hour later. Only embers remained in the bonfire. Tucker had already gotten enough information from Eden Gladstone. The light gradually disappeared from the passage. After sorting out the information in his mind, Tucker looked at Eden Gladstone's sheep across the bonfire. The guy had eaten grass and was taking a nap. Tucker walked up. He touched the sheep's horn with one hand, and triggered the perception to build the spell vein. Sheep transformation. Transformation. Retrospection. Tucker's facial organs, body height, and hair color and length were all changing rapidly. Soon, Tucker turned into a young man with a gloomy and depressed face and a little tired. It was Eden Gladstone who had been transformed into a sheep. Borrowing the unscientific precision. Using the ability of transformation, the sheep transformation was retrospectively transformed into himself. Tucker borrowed the appearance of Eden Gladstone. Spell linkage. This is a problem that wizards must consider when learning various spells. The last step of the sheep transformation is transformation. With the veins constructed by the touch spirit in Tucker's precise conduction, the effect of transfiguration was achieved. This is why the sheep transformation is one of the core spells of wizards. The sheep transformation can form a spell linkage with many spells, thus producing different effects. And during the whole process, Eden Gladstone the sheep did not react at all. It should be that human nature is asleep. Tucker muttered in a low voice after the transformation. Put on Eden Gladstone's wizard robe, put on the alchemical ring staff, and tidy up his hair. Tucker is already a genuine Eden Gladstone. He tried the wooden stake on the side, which was very solid, and tied the rope to it. Tucker stood up and walked to the dark depths of the passage on the side, and then disappeared. And Eden Gladstone, like a real sheep, crawled on the spot to take a nap. After half an hour, Eden Gladstone suddenly jumped up. He looked at the dark surroundings. The demon is finally gone. Eden Gladstone breathed a sigh of relief. He stepped back and rubbed the ground with his left hoof. Then he hit the wooden stake. Well, it didn't break. Come again. It's not broken yet, keep going. After 7 or 8 consecutive hits, Eden Gladstone finally broke the wooden stake. Go. Eden Gladstone, who was trying his best to control the sheep's body, fled in the opposite direction of Tucker. However, he only went 20 or 30 meters deep. Swoosh, a lightning-like vine wrapped around Eden Gladstone's neck and dragged him off the ground. The vine was like a python, getting tighter and tighter. Eden Gladstone kept struggling. His increasingly suffocated brain understood a little. Why did the demon wizard let him stay here so confidently? All of this was intentional. But it was too late. Soon, everything returned to calm. Wait until Eden Gladstone was completely dead. Tucker came out slowly from the darkness on the side. I gave you the right to be a sheep, but unfortunately, you refused. Using the kerosene bomb, Tucker burned Eden Gladstone and his alchemist sequence together. The contaminated alchemist sequence crystal is no longer useful. At the Red Rock Gate, the 2 guards were slightly dozing off. In the darkness, footsteps sounded and approached quickly. The 2 night guards immediately became alert. But when they saw the person coming, their hearts suddenly tightened. The person coming was the bloody alchemist Eden Gladstone. The other party walked a little hurriedly, with obvious anger on his face, and the alchemy robe on his body seemed to be a little damaged. In connection with the previous explosion, the two vaguely guessed something. They didn't even wait for Eden Gladstone to push the door himself. The two knights hurriedly pushed the door open. Checking identity? Is this a joke? Please go in quickly, don't get angry on us. This is the truest portrayal of the two knight guards' hearts. Behind the stone gate is a fairly well-built underground corridor. The ground is covered with stone bricks, and there are many underground bonsai plants on both sides. There are stone door rooms at a certain interval on the walls on both sides. There are a large number of firefly wall lamps on both sides of the corridor. Just as Eden Gladstone said. Normally, there are not many people in this stronghold. Tucker went deeper along the corridor. At the beginning, he could still see one or two figures. But when those people saw him, they looked terrified, and Tucker felt relieved. If someone came up to talk to him, it would be bad if he was exposed. No one paid attention, it was better. As he went deeper, there was no one in the passage. He came to an area with dim fluorescence. He looked around. Tucker flipped his hand and took out a barrier scroll he had chosen long ago. Soon, a barrier was built. However, Tucker still felt that one barrier was not safe enough. He arranged two more barriers, and Tucker was satisfied. In this way, even if there is a fight inside, the sound and movement will be intercepted. No help will come from outside, and no one will know that there is a fight inside. After doing all this, Tucker walked towards the final destination of this trip. The location of the hunter gang leader Bashamu. Deep in the cave. At the entrance area, two blood worms as thick as arms poked out from the darkness. They sniffed at Tucker. Tucker used Eden Gladstone's body to perfectly replicate it 1-to-1. The breath was also traced back to Tucker from the other party. The bloodworm sniffed for a while and then retracted into the depths of darkness. Tucker, who was a little relieved, had already put down the bloodthorn vine witchcraft in his hand. As soon as he entered the altar area, a strong smell of blood hid him. It was the smell of the altar soaked in blood. The altar was about 5 meters high. Above the altar, a bowl-sized black sun appeared silently. Tucker only took a glance and felt a trance in front of his eyes. Large black spots appeared and a feeling of nausea surged. Some kind of extremely evil and corrupted thing. Tucker, who converged his eyes, dared not look at the horrible evil and corrupted thing anymore. Tucker learned a lot of information from Eden Gladstone. The hunter gang led by Bashamu not only hunted wizards in this grand event where A-level geniuses came. Bashamu himself also made sacrifices continuously. And Black Dark Sun is the wealth accumulated by Bashamu. Bashamu seems to want to obtain extraordinary treasures from the great god of Dark Sun. These are Eden Gladstone's original words. Bashamu's burly body came out from behind the altar soaked in blood. His eyes swept across Tucker's somewhat damaged alchemy robe. "Why are you back again?" A slightly hoarse voice sounded. "Hunter, and also has a certain dark in blood power, Hunter, Bashamu, level 29. Amazing strength. It is said that his dark in blood can communicate with a dark dimension to a certain extent. As a hunter, the natural jungle is his natural hunting ground. At this time, there are many large bonsai and plants around the altar. Make the base into half of his home. This hunter Bashamu is quite cautious. The tower has discovered my identity, and a student wants to hunt me." A gloomy voice sounded. "Unfortunately, I survived. He is a second-level wizard, and I got the sequence crystal." Originally, Bashamu wanted to say, it is only a matter of time before he is discovered by the tower, and joining the Great Dark Sun is the final destination. But when he saw Tucker took out the small iron box, the words on his lips were swallowed again. Second-level wizard sequence. This is a very perfect sacrifice. Bashamu walked over directly as usual. Chapter 21 Precision Guidance. Catcha. Bashamu took the small iron box and opened it directly. No. Until this moment, Bashamu still didn't realize that the Eden Gladstone in front of him was a fake. "Eden, did you take the wrong one?" The moment Bashamu looked up, his original hunter's sense of smell was extremely blossoming at this moment. No. Damn. He is not Eden Gladstone. But it was too late. Swish. A fast, accurate, and fierce blow. The unguarded Bashamu couldn't react at all. A scorching, even boiling light spear containing a sacred breath. It poured fiercely into his chest. Even the sacred breath has begun to purify the sequence ecology of his hunter's tree. Bashamu didn't feel pain. Instead, it felt bitterness and numbness, as well as astonishment and shock. But there was no time to think. Bashamu had already made a move. The dazzling knife wrapped in a green wind blade bloomed brilliantly. Swish! The blade was like a blade across the water, encountering no resistance. The shameless attacker in front of him was cut into 2 pieces by his sword. But when it fell to the ground, it was a parchment scroll that had been opened. Substitute witchcraft scroll. Damn it! Bashamu, with a livid face, reached out to grab the golden spear. But as soon as he touched it, swish, 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 as if he had grabbed a red-hot iron, burnt black smoke came out of his palm. Under the stimulation of the holy power, his palms were slightly alienated, revealing rough skin and sharp claws. But the alienation was quickly curbed. But he didn't dare to pull out the spear easily again. That damned attacker not only disguised himself as Eden Gladstone. What shocked Bashamu even more was that the opponent's light spear directly pierced through his second-level living wood armor and pierced through his main heart. Bashamu has 3 hearts, which is his biggest secret. But that wizard of low level. Not only did he know his secret, but he also pierced his heart accurately. How could that damn wizard know that? Now Bashamu is so shocked that he didn't have much time to pay attention to this problem. The divine power had begun to destroy the ecology of his hunter tree. Bashamu had to fight quickly. Tucker, who had already stood firm in the distance and secretly deployed, was also secretly shocked by Bashamu's strong life. Tucker had invested all his experience in the 2-star witchcraft, the Spear of Shaping Light, and reached level 15. Using the veins that intersected with the world, Tucker concealed the accumulated witchcraft fluctuations of the Spear of Shaping Light. Approach the opponent and release it instantly. In this way, it can ensure 100% penetration of the opponent's body. It's not that Tucker doesn't believe in his accuracy. It's because Bashamu has a hand shield. It is possible to block it. If it is blocked, it will be a big joke. When approaching Bashamu, Tucker had an unexpected gain. That is, the accurate sense of smell told Tucker that the opponent was close to the right lower rib, which was a crucial key point. Since the SS level precision had marked the key point. Just stab it. Close distance, with SS level precision. The opponent had no time and opportunity to react. Now it seems to be particularly effective. When he looked up at the shameless attacker, a few tough hairs appeared on Bashamu's face, and his pupils gradually expanded, the corners of his eyes pulled up, and the blood pupils vaguely emerged. The main heart is the key to his Darkborn Wolf transformation. But now that the main heart is pierced, he can only use 20% to 30% of the Darkborn Wolf transformation power at most. Where is Eden Gladstone? Bashamu roared in a low voice. Am I not Eden Gladstone? My dear leader. The second brother killed the first brother and took over. This plot sounds very infighting. Tucker said coldly while secretly preparing. Bashamu's fangs became more and more ferocious. I hope you can still be so stubborn later. Bashamu, who had stabilized his wolf power, suddenly burst out and rushed towards Tucker. Tucker, who was already prepared, started shooting. Bang! The first shot exploded in Bashamu's left pupil. Ouch! Bashamu's pupil exploded in pain. But even with such a serious injury, Bashamu still held up his left-hand shield. Tucker's subsequent shots fell on Bashamu, but were blocked by his half-wolf body and living wood leather armor. This physique is really amazing, and this guy also has blood power. The bullet tentacles, if it is not a weak point attack, can hardly hurt these guys who are 1 level higher. Bashamu's speed is very fast. But Tucker's speed is not slow either. Moreover, there are a lot of large bonsai here. Originally it was Bashamu's home field, but now it provides excellent cover for Tucker. The heart of the elite magic wolf makes Tucker's physique not weak. In addition, the wind sprint that has been blessed. Bashamu blocked his sight with a shield, and could only blur the hunter's sense of smell to lock the prey. He smashed several large bonsais in succession, but failed to catch up with Tucker. The witchcraft kerosene bombs have been gathered. Then Tucker followed the trajectory of the spell and the hunter and cut in perfectly. Thanks to the precision kerosene bomb, the ejection trajectory is incredibly fast. At this time, Bashamu, who had already suffered a loss, was already prepared. His body quickly moved to the right. However, when he moved, the kerosene bomb, which perfectly matched the veins and trajectory, also moved with it. It was as if the kerosene bomb had predicted Bashamu's prediction. Bang! The kerosene bomb fell into Bashamu's arms with an extremely fast and extremely accurate trajectory, and exploded. Crash! The rich kerosene instantly enveloped Bashamu and burned violently. How can his witchcraft be so accurate? At this time, Bashamu, who was shrouded in flames, had a buzzing head due to the damage done to the hunters by the spear of light and the sequelae of eye trauma. Whether it was that guy who had seen through the location of his main heart just now, or that a shot blew up his eyeball, which was an outrageous thing, or he had tried his best to avoid a kerosene bomb, but was still hit in the arms by the kerosene bomb that seemed to have eyes. The witchcraft of the wizard who was only a dozen levels was weird and unscientific. A wizard who was only a dozen levels. Shouldn't he have been overtaken by a hunter of level 29? How could he be beaten without any resistance? Even, he didn't dare to look at the other party straight in the eye. The more he thought about it, the more aggrieved and angry he felt. But reason dragged Bashamu and told him. This wizard, in terms of disguise, means, and accuracy, was weird and amazing everywhere. If he wasn't careful, he might die here today. Living wood puts out fire. Bashamu stared at the shield and quickly activated the extraordinary living wood leather armor on his body. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 22. I have a bold idea. This vitality is simply a monster. Looking at Bashamu's living wood leather armor, the flames were gradually extinguished. Bashamu survived the flames. Tucker was more and more amazed at the warrior-type extraordinary people. As their ranks were raised, their vitality became stronger. I wish I had such a strong vitality. Surviving means there is room for output. With a body like my current one, once I am attacked face to face, I will die on the spot. Tucker, who had secretly prepared the witchcraft, tried his best to restrain his breath. Just now, Tucker threw a kerosene bomb, burning the opponent. It would be good if he could burn the opponent to death, but if he could not burn him to death, it could also disrupt his perception. In this way, Tucker could effectively restrain his breath. Bashamu held up the living wood hand shield and did not dare to observe directly with his eyes. He could only track Tucker through the hunter's sensitive sense of smell for prey. It was because of this that Tucker ran around the bonsai just now. This guy smashed a lot of flowers and plants. When Tucker used precision to restrain his breath, then the question came. Bashamu, who couldn't use the hunter's sense of smell to catch Tucker, how could he find Tucker? With his eyes? Haha. Tucker thought so too. The flames went out. The altar, which was bustling just now, fell into dead silence. When Bashamu used his trusted hunter's sense of smell to sniff around, his heart suddenly sank. He couldn't find the wizard. I can't find you, but I still have a way to find you. Bashamu, with a fierce murderous aura in his heart, took a deep breath. The power of shadow rolled in the depths of his throat. Ah, ah, ah. The howling of the dark wolf from the blood power. With the black sun of the altar as the background, it was stirred back and forth in this altar. Silently, 3 shadow demon wolves jumped out from the deep shadow behind Bashamu. Go. Following Bashamu's order, the 3 shadow demon wolves rushed forward. Soon, the sound of breaking through the air was heard. Then the sound of whipping and snapping sounded one after another. It was as if a whip was fighting 3 shadow wolves. In the battle, Bashamu amplified his hearing, smell, and other senses to the extreme. He hoped to locate the damn wizard. However, no. The wizard did not move at all, hiding in the blind spot behind his shield. I don't believe how long you can hide. My shadow howl can summon shadow wolves infinitely. Shadow wolves are summoned in the form of shadows, not too powerful, and their level is only a little over 10. Soon, the first wave of 3 shadow wolves were destroyed by bloodthorn vines. Ow! Just as Bashamu was making the second round of summons. Suddenly, Bashamu caught a glimpse of a figure in the corner of his eye. Not good. Just when he wanted to move his shield. But it was too late. Bang! The gunshots ended. After the pain in his eyes, there was a deep numbness. And Bashamu's eyes were dark. It's over. Bashamu's back felt cold, and his heart sank to the bottom. No. It's not over yet. Suddenly, Bashamu seemed to think of something. He raised his head and looked towards the altar. Even though he could no longer see anything. However, He could still feel the power of the god of dark sun there. There was also the power he had accumulated through sacrifice, waiting for the A-level extraordinary talent to be sacrificed together. Now, immediately, pray to the god of dark sun. Pray for him to restore himself and give him strength. Then he would be able to turn the tables. At this moment, Bashnamu felt something hit his back. The flames rose up again around him. Damn wizard! While cursing, Bashnamu quickly ran towards the altar. Just as he was about to get close to the altar, he vaguely felt a breath of the sacred light. Swish! A wisp of, shaping light spear, about 1 meter long and as thick as a finger. The spear pierced Bashnamu's head fiercely, nailing him to the ground. The steps of the altar were already within his reach. Unfortunately, he could never reach them. Huh? Tucker exhaled lightly and put the alchemical bomb in his hand back into the storage bracelet. If this attack could not kill this guy, Tucker was ready to use the alchemical bomb to overturn him. But this monster with amazing vitality finally died after the spear of light pierced his head. The power of the spear of shaping light is indeed strong. This guy is wearing living wood leather armor, which is comparable to the extraordinary steel armor of the same thickness. But he was still pierced by the spear of shaping light. It is worthy of being a 2-star light witchcraft, which is very powerful. It just takes a little longer to cast the spell, and the source energy consumption is also a little higher. But these are not a problem. Wait until I have enough source energy experience, and do some witchcraft, no, magic, brain, research, addition, points. The casting time and source energy consumption of this witchcraft will be improved to a certain extent. At the same time, the problem of the spear of shaping light's flight speed not being fast enough can also be greatly improved. With the death of the hunter Bashnamu, the altar area returned to peace. Tucker dragged Bashnamu's body a little further away from the altar, and Tucker began to clean up the results of the battle. The first one was the living wood leather armor. Living wood is an extraordinary armor made from the tough leather armor of the tree man. Although it had been pierced by Tucker's light-shaping spear, the advantage of the living wood leather armor is that it can devour extraordinary wood materials and recover itself. This thing is not only light, but also has strong defense, much more powerful than my chain mail. Bashnamu's body was not even cold yet, and Tucker put on his living wood leather armor. After opening Bashnamu's extraordinary bracelet and checking it out, Tucker frowned slightly. There are not many valuable things in it. There are only more than 30 magic golds. Not as rich as Eden Gladstone. It shouldn't be. According to Eden Gladstone, Basham of the Hunter Guild almost took away more than half of the wealth and income of the entire human gang. It's impossible to be so poor. Did this guy hide his wealth? Or? Tucker glanced at the altar from the corner of his eye. With just this glance, the small black sun on it was like a spike, which made Tucker's heart ache. This guy has invested all his resources in sacrifices to the evil god Dark Sun. That little Dark Sun is all his savings. That evil thing is very uncomfortable to even glance at. If it breaks free from the altar, who knows what will happen. I definitely can't take it away, so how about? A bold idea emerged in Tucker's mind. Chapter 23 The Origin of the Dark Sea. The bold idea intensified in Tucker's mind. First, Tucker pried out the real name of the ritual for the god of Dark Sun from Eden Gladstone. And there is an altar here, and it is a special altar for the god of Dark Sun. In other words, Tucker is qualified to make sacrifices to the god of Dark Sun. Anyway, Tucker can't take away the deposit in the form of Dark Sun Black Ball. Instead of staying here and letting the people of the Dark Sun Church take advantage of it, it's better for Tucker to consume it himself. At the same time, the things that the god of Dark Sun descended are still very secure. After thinking about it, Tucker took out the second-level Hunter Extraordinary Crystal of Bashnamu that had been stripped off. I didn't bring anything when I came here, I'll sacrifice you. Climbing up the small bloody steps, the bloody gray mist began to linger around Tucker, and the wind whirlwind gradually rose. Tucker vaguely felt that there seemed to be an eye in the extremely dark sun black ball looking at him again. Look if you want. Anyway, I am Eden Gladstone, the bloody alchemist of the Hunter Guild. Until now, Tucker still has not removed the disguise of Eden Gladstone. Tucker intends to make full use of Eden Gladstone's remaining heat. Climbing to the top of the small altar, the whirlwind and the feeling of being spied on dissipated. Tucker placed the Hunter Bashnamu's Hunter Sequence Crystal, which had been dark and corrupted and contained a certain amount of blood power, on it. Then, Tucker chanted in a low voice. The Great Lord on the Ashes, the the immortal who rules the Dark Sun dimension, the eternal Dark Sun God, your most devout believer, pray to you. I am willing to dedicate everything I have hoarded. Pray for the spring pool from the origin dimension. After one time, the god on the altar did not respond to Tucker's prayer. Tucker was not surprised at all. The great god is not a customer service staff. It is not that you can respond just by praying. Therefore, it takes many times, dozens of times, or even dozens of times to pray. What? You don't want to pray many times? Then what kind of faith are you talking about, you blasphemer? Over and over again, Tucker kept praying. When Tucker practiced magic himself, he practiced spells, gestures, and movements hundreds of times, thousands of times day and night. Standing here, just chanting in a low voice, it's already very simple. After more than 10 times, woo woo woo, the bloody whirlwind reappeared. The hunter crystal carrying Tucker's sacrifice disappeared. At the same time, the black dark sun, along with the whirlwind, turned into thick black mist and quickly floated up to the sky. There seemed to be a huge abyss crack there, swallowing everything in. Feeling the spread of the power of the sacrifice, Tucker could clearly see that most of the veins of the sacrifice power were taken away by the god of Dark Sun. This was a very normal scene. But the abnormal scene opened Tucker's eyes. That is, a small number of power veins were not taken away by the god of Dark Sun. Instead, they left along 2 separate veins. Tucker quickly gathered his mind. Precision, cut in. Tucker's perception flew away with the 2 veins. As the 2 veins extended farther, Tucker's perception became more blurred. In the end, Tucker failed to follow the 2 veins to the end. However, Tucker also vaguely glimpsed a lot of things. On the small altar, Tucker stood still for a long time. Then he opened his eyes and focused on the item given back by the god of Dark Sun on the altar in front of him. This is an item about the size of an egg, and the whole body is dark blue and deep like the color of the sea. Indistinctly, Tucker can hear the sound of waves caressing the beach. Seed. Strange information emerged in Tucker's mind. Tucker rubbed his eyebrows. The effect of precision is becoming more and more adapted to my wizard ecology. Even in the visual veins, it can slightly trigger touch perception. If this continues, whoever I stare at will get pregnant. Tucker took this dark blue seed in his hand. It doesn't matter if Tucker doesn't recognize it. Touching the perception will help Tucker see its essence. Original Dark Sea Seed. Note, a seed that helps you open up the Origin Dark Sea. Origin, Dark Sea. Feeling this special seed, Tucker took a deep breath, his eyes narrowed into line, and surprise surged like a volcano. I just wanted to give it a try, but I didn't expect such a rare treasure. The god of Dark Sun, he really has it. This wave is a blood prophet. Feeling this Origin Dark Sea Seed, Tucker was more delighted than ever before. Normally, the source energy pool, possessed by a magic-based extraordinary person is naturally the larger the better. Normally, this is the case. However, in this bizarre world full of various complex extraordinary ecosystems, ideals are full, but reality is skinny. If an extraordinary person has a source pool far beyond his own level, he is easily affected by the world tide, source energy resonance and regional source tide. Such as, when the Ashes dark tide of the Ashland arrives, a level 20 transcendent with a level 30 source pool will have a little more difficulty in mobilizing source energy, but it will not be dangerous. When it comes to a level 40 source pool, source energy will be very difficult to mobilize, and it may even be dangerous. When it comes to a level 50 source pool, its own source pool will resonate with the ash source tide, and the transcendent will be torn apart alive. But if the transcendent has a source energy dark sea, it will be completely different. The source energy dark sea is not affected by the outside world. Even if you have a huge source energy dark sea, it will not be affected by the outside world. Having a huge source energy dark sea is what every spell-based transcendent dreams of. That means that you are qualified to greatly expand your source pool, and it will not be affected by the outside world. At this time, what Tucker obtained was not an ordinary source energy dark sea. It was the Origin Dark Sea. This is a level higher than the ordinary source energy dark sea. The Origin Dark Sea has a much higher recovery capacity than the source energy dark sea, and its upper limit for development is much higher than the source energy dark sea. The only drawback is, it is not easy to develop. This small Origin Dark Sea seed may not be able to develop a small ocean. But, under precise guidance, that's different. Subsequent expansion is also difficult for others. But for me, the system's source energy experience can be added and it's done. Before, I was worried that there would be too much source energy experience and nowhere to use it. After the Origin Dark Sea, there will be no problem filing this Origin Dark Sea with unlimited experience. After carefully storing this Origin Dark Sea seed, Tucker looked at everything around him. The two veins we saw just now are obviously important locations of the Dark Sun Church in the Rammer Tower City-State, and they may even be Bashamu's superiors. I consumed the sacrifices accumulated by Bashamu, which disrupted their sacrifice rhythm and purpose to a certain extent. The other two sides must have felt it as well. We can't stay here for long. Tucker immediately left the Hunter Gang's stronghold. Chapter 24: The Capital to upgrade muskets to cannons. About half an hour after Tucker left, an older wizard came in a hurry. He was the deputy leader of the Hunters Guild, second only to the leader Basham. "Where's the leader?" the old wizard asked the guard. "Still inside." "Yes." The old wizard nodded, and just as he was about to go in, he seemed to have thought of something. "Have you found any suspicious people?" the old wizard asked again. "No suspicious people." The guard shook his head. "But there is one unsuspicious person. Eden Gladstone, who left earlier, turned back and seemed to be injured. After staying inside for a while, he left in a hurry again." "Bad?" The old wizard suddenly felt something was wrong. "You didn't check him," the old wizard scolded in a low voice. The two guards shrank their necks. "Who dared to check the cruel and bloody Eden Gladstone? Isn't this courting death?" The old wizard didn't have time to pay attention to the two gate knights who could stand here watching the gate as long as the gate was not lost, and pushed the door directly to go inside. Soon, the old wizard ran out like crazy. "Damn bastard. Call everyone here right now. No matter what, find the traitor Eden Gladstone. I want him alive or dead." The angry roars and hisses made the two gate knights stun for a moment, and then they hurried to call for help. Tucker, who had gained something, did not go to Old Combe the first time. Whether it was the threat spying on Tucker, or the pursuit of Eden Gladstone after the incident was exposed, Tucker would undoubtedly be asking for trouble if he went there to sell things now. Lord Aubrey's place. He could go, but Tucker had a better place to complete the transaction. The reason why the Lamore Tower City-State could become a springboard for the St. Lander Super City-State to enter the dangerous territory of the Ashes was because, on the one hand, it was because from the Lamore Tower City-State to the wilderness, it could enter many areas with special resources. At the same time, there are many extraordinary biological communities, such as dog-headed people, goblins, wasteland elves, etc., and their levels are not too high. Suitable for students of St. Land Extraordinary College to complete the trial. Another reason is that the Lamore Tower City-State has a crypt market with the crypt people. And the crypt people have a good trade relationship with the dog-headed tribe occupying the underground city. Using this as a channel, the crypt market of the Lamore Tower City-State has many good things from the underground world. Every time the Ash Day rises, merchants come to the Lamore City-State. The crypt market, dominated by the crypt people deep underground, is a place that many merchants will not miss. Dark, silent and wide underground passage. Tucker carried the fluorescent wall lamp that he had taken from the Hunter Gang, and then transformed it into a fluorescent horse lantern. The fluorescent horse lantern illuminates the not-so-wide passage. Not long after, two crypt people guards wearing thick limestone armor appeared in Tucker's field of vision. The two underground guards looked at the fluorescent lantern in Tucker's hand and let him go. Entering the underground market, there are a large number of fluorescent light shops in the extremely wide underground area. Various unique resources from the underground are sold. Tucker got a lot of good things from this hunting, especially potions and semi-finished materials. They are in short supply in the underground world. The same is true for extraordinary weapons. Tucker, who was twisting the fluorescent lantern, began to sell the stolen goods from hunting at various stalls. About 2 hours later, Tucker was satisfied and left the underground market with the fluorescent lantern. A relatively clean underground passage. At this time, Tucker had restored his appearance. He took out a small section of living wood. Just this small section of living wood cost Tucker 8 magic gold. After slightly activating the living wood leather armor with source power, Tucker attached the small section of living wood to the living wood leather armor. After a moment, a mouth appeared on the living wood leather armor and swallowed the small section of living wood directly. Then came the sound of crunch, crunch, of hard chewing. With chewing and digestion, the damaged living wood leather armor gradually recovered. After doing all this, Tucker turned on the fluorescent lantern again and walked towards the surface. This time he entered the underground market. Except for the living wood leather armor and the slightly damaged alchemy robe, Tucker disposed of all the items. Those extraordinary storage bracelets might have something that could be easily traced. It is better to get rid of them as soon as possible. Even if Tucker left 2 extraordinary equipment. These 2 extraordinary equipment, Tucker was going to remelt them before they could be used again. Selling the entire fortune of 2 second-level extraordinary people. Even one of them is an alchemist. The harvest this time is quite gratifying: 468 magic gold. This is all the magic gold obtained from the sale. Adding the magic gold originally from Eden Gladstone. Now the amount of magic gold in Tucker's hands exceeds the 600 mark. This is already a huge sum of money for many extraordinary people. These magic golds are also Tucker's capital for upgrading his muskets to big guns. Before, when I made a sacrifice, the veins of the sacrifice went to 2 areas. One is the bunker area, and the other is the tower area. The A-level extraordinary genius of the Dark Sun Church is hiding in the tower area. This is obviously a little unlikely. The bunker area is very likely the area where the genius of the Dark Sun Church is located. And the veins of the tower area. Tucker's eyes narrowed slightly. Obviously, there are members of the Dark Sun Church in the tower area, even core members. I got in touch with the tower through Lord Aubrey. If you walk in the tower, you must be careful. If you really encounter it, even if you find clues, you must pretend not to know. That A-level genius did not complete the Steam upgrade in the last Ash Day cycle. Now it is the Ash Day, at least half a month or even 20 days before it can be fully prepared. During this period, I have enough time to digest these extraordinary equipment, treasures, magic gold and other resources in my hands. With so many resources, my strength can at least double. During the study period, if there is a chance, you can go to the bunker area to secretly investigate. Once you find the location, if there is a chance, I will take action alone. If there is really no other way, it is not impossible to ask Lord Aubrey. Tucker, who was moving forward, quietly formulated his own plan. With the SS level precision, he had insight into the possible location of the Dark Sun Church A-level genius. Tucker, who was in the dark, had enough time and space to prepare. Moreover, he had the upper hand. Chapter 25. I am not interested in treasure. Underground Street, Obsidian Material Shop. Your 2 days is really fast. The last time we met was just a few hours ago. Old Com looked at the magic gold that Tucker took out and smiled. Whenever he saw the thick and heavy magic gold, Old Com always felt that he was several years younger. Are there any reliable alchemists? Tucker lowered his voice. The degree of reliability depends on the amount of magic gold you have. Old Com, who felt alive, was much more energetic. The second-level alchemy robe is a little damaged. Maintain the original shield properties and add some energy recovery materials. Tucker spoke slowly while thinking. The price of remelting and strengthening the second-level extraordinary equipment is not cheap. Just repairing it requires 10 magic gold. Materials, you have to pay extra. 15 magic gold energy recovery materials, a total of 25 magic gold. Tucker gave the range he could accept. Although it is a little expensive, it is safer. No problem. Old Com simply agreed. In the underground streets of the Lamore Tower city-state, there is a spontaneously formed gray industry chain, and Old Com is a part of it. Alchemy Robe is more about assisting the fine manipulation of source energy and collecting source energy to form a shield. And Wizard Robe is more about helping wizards to accelerate the absorption of source energy and help wizards complete the first source energy refining. If you want the shield and fine manipulation of the Alchemy Robe, and want to accelerate the absorption and refining of source energy, is it okay? Of course you can. But you have to pay more. And the more you add, the better the effect. Even in the extraordinary world, money power is still effective. After the transaction was completed, when Tucker was about to get up and leave, Old Com stopped Tucker. Tucker, have you heard about it? What? Tucker was stunned. The underground Demon King's treasure. This is a big deal. Old Com said with interest. Everyone is talking about this now, you must know it. Although the news was blocked at the tower, it was still passed on. I don't know which daring tomb robber actually dug up the treasure of the Demon King's tomb. And he chiseled a big hole in the sealed door of the Demon King's tomb. Now, Everyone wants to go to the underground Demon King's seal area in groups. Even if we don't go to the sealed door that was chiseled open, the sealed doors in other places are also very good. You don't go. Tucker thought about it and said seriously, I'm not interested in treasure. Then, he left without looking back, leaving quite resolutely. Not interested in treasure. Old Calm touched his white stubble. When did this kid change his nature? Strange. The ash day gradually rose. The blood-red luster gradually thinned. But walking on the street, it was still very cold. Originally, Tucker planned to rush to the outer tombs of the tower area. However, when he saw the bunker area with sharp and towering roofs in the sun, Tucker planned to take a detour and maybe find something. The matter is exposed, or rather, it can't be concealed at all. Carlos must have been locked up by his sister. Otherwise, with that guy's temperament, when the Ashes Day rises, he will definitely recruit people in the Griffin Crypt Tavern and start a new round of exploration. And, there are no tower personnel stationed in the Griffin Crypt Tavern. At least, that kid and his sister didn't tell me. He's still a loyal guy. As long as I don't make trouble, there's basically nothing to do about the Demon King's tomb seal. Gradually putting aside the matter of the Demon King's tomb seal, Tucker raised his eyes and fell on the traces of the sharp and twisted eaves with a towering roof. The original house was not like this. But when the Ashes' dark tide came, many things came alive. In other words, the afterglow of the dark sun slightly reshaped the world's ecology. Except for the extraordinary steam emitted by the roaring steam tower, the ecology within the range of coverage is still within the scope of human understanding. Everything in the depths of the ash tide challenges human cognition. And after the ash tide dissipated, this slightly twisted, yet extremely strong and unique building has also been preserved. And this has also formed a unique architectural style. It also has a very nice name, Ash Gothic style. The bunker area, these 3 or 4-story houses with bunkers, were bought by many businessmen. They were used as a foothold and warehouse for entering and leaving the Lamore Tower city-state. The gurgling sound of the carriage wheels continued on the wide streets. Tucker was like a bard, stepping on the bloody sunlight and shuttling through the Ash Gothic building complex. Sometimes he stopped to watch, sometimes he was thinking, and sometimes he had some enlightenment. Soon, Tucker stopped at a crossroads symbolizing the intersection of fate. A particularly majestic and burly black-toothed horse with a body like thick ink. Pulling a very wide 4-wheeled carriage, it stopped at the intersection. Although the carriage body and curtains covered the inside tightly, Tucker still had a clear view of the situation inside. A middle-aged wizard who seemed to be at the peak of his energy, experience, ability, and strength. A teenager who was about the same age as Tucker. He was also a wizard. Moreover, he was a wizard with blood power. The extraordinary equipment on his body was probably comparable to Tucker's entire outfit, or even much higher. The Krypton Gold Boy of the wizard family. Tucker said silently. There were no other carriages at the crossroads. But the black-toothed horse stopped. It seemed to be waiting for something. Level 29, amazingly strong physique, and full of endurance. If you turn into a sheep, it would be best to turn into a black goat. In the depths of the wilderness, goats are one of the best mounts. Tucker looked at the black-toothed horse and saw it clearly. It seemed to feel Tucker's comments. The black-toothed horse cast a look at Tucker. It's bad. Tucker thought to himself. Sure enough. When the black-toothed horse looked at Tucker, it raised its head high, shook its black and beautiful mane vigorously, and then snorted hard. I was actually despised by a horse. Tucker's face was full of black lines. As a carnivorous fierce horse, the black-toothed horse has the ability to see through the level through sight. If your level is higher than the horse, you are qualified to ride it. But if your level is lower than it, sorry. Forget about riding it, and it will even have a level contempt chain for you. In a house near the intersection, a plump, fair-skinned girl in a light yellow dress saw this scene and giggled with her hands covering her mouth. How interesting, that wizard was actually despised by a horse. Oh. I almost made eye contact with that black-toothed horse. If it sees my level, I will be despised too. The girl quickly used her slender palm to block the position of the black-toothed horse at the crossroads. The girl is also a wizard. On the other side, behind the attic glass on the top floor of a bunker, a young man wearing a black wizard robe, with a gloomy face and a black rune mark on his forehead. He watched all this quietly like a sculpture. A young man from a wealthy wizard family. A poor wizard who was out of place in the bunker area and could only stand on the side of the road. and the girl with amazing growth. These scenes were perfectly presented in the young man's mind. And the young man was also a wizard. Soon, the sound of horse hooves rang out, and the proud black-toothed horse left with his master. The girl also drew the curtains. The young man in the attic moved his eyes to other places. An unexpected small gathering came to an end. After feeling that all insights, sights, and perceptions were separated from him, Tucker rubbed his brows on the side of the road. Under his palms were the corners of Tucker's mouth that were outlined with a smile. The bloody morning light penetrated through the gaps in his palms and fell on Tucker's pupils, reflecting the face Tucker wanted to find. A-level genius, hello. Well, it was a good meeting. I hope I left a good impression on you. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.